we woke up to Loki being disappeared. What the fuck? Yeah. After waking up, we found that all that was left of him was his spyglass and 2 sets of footprints. One set was obviously his, and one set was something vaguely humanoid with like a very heavy sole. Or heel, I think, something like that. We looked around for a little bit, to really try to search for him, but he was just nowhere. He really just vanished. So, Nia became the surveyor, and we reluctantly carried on because most of us assumed that this is one of his little disappearing acts, you know. Um, but yeah, once we went around to the edge of the swamp, we briefly came across some weird-looking people, uh, testing quote unquote the bog waters, and we think that they're hiding a body, but we kind of didn't. Well, we just moved on. But after some more adventuring and traveling around, we saw in the distance the Black Knight's fortress, the one and only. And from afar, saw some Kenstra come towards us. We were able to hide, thankfully, though. And when they came around, we heard they're just making the rounds. They thought that maybe we were white knights, and they moved along. They had very big dog, big wolf like mounts, which is very scary. Uh, but yeah, eventually we continue on, and suddenly we heard a well, we didn't hear a voice. Alcana heard a voice. Alcana heard Specs back in Ardoing. Um, Suddenly telling us that Bold disappeared. And, not long after, this noble called the Dowager visited us, uh, or visited the friends of Elena. She wasn't threatening, although she did mention Alcana's name. Uh, so we're a little scared about that, Monka-S. Yeah, continuing forward, we found a bunch of boreholes, basically, like kind of like little caves in this kind of rocky outlook, and we had Don go forward and peek in and see if he could find anything. Before he can continue on like getting close enough, he heard a big old voice saying, "Begone, mortal!" And he got really scared, so he left, uh absolutely terrified, until everyone in the group basically figured out, oh, these are probably those bird people we saw before. Uh, Natrix went up and said, "Let me speak to your manager," and they tried the same thing. He rolled a d20, and he just barged into the back room of the store. Like he really wants to see that manager. He, I think he dodged a bolt, and the Burful kind of went further in. And when we started investigating, we found uh some kind of makeshift like silver jewelry. We saw like, I think it was only a tiara, right? And the tiara had the mark of Chelonius. Uh-oh. It was like kind of broken in half, and it kind of resembled the one that we found in Vold's house. But other than that, yeah, we basically pocketed it, and we continued on. We made camp, and Don and Elkanah had a had a little tap, just reflecting on the encounter with Omephasis, uh, talking about how that kind of really changed him. Don kind of told her about how uh, he was scared, how, he thought that he might get kicked out of the SEC because of Kavi, but, Akana kind of, like, made him feel better. They shared, like, worries about losing control or being a burden. Yeah, and eventually, uh, it turned later, and we talked about Alistair and Worse and how they're doing out in Varrock. It was a cute combo. But yeah, continuing on, we go to sleep. Next morning, um, let's see. Yeah, we saw another set of boreholes, and we thought that maybe we would look into that again. We sent out Don because that was so good last time, and eventually we actually stumbled upon these giant uh bug-like creatures, and we had to really beat them the fuck back. before like being able to run out. That took a long time. That was ow. It hurt a lot too. But either way, after traveling for a few hours, boop, we're surprised by a bunch of white knights. And apparently, like when they came up to us, Don kind of panicked and he, instead of going invisible or something, he just like he zipped straight for Natrix's cloak. So of course they saw him, and when Natrix tried to explain that it was his familiar, they basically said like, "Hey, okay, just give us the Fae, and you can continue on." And everyone was like, "Hold up, no, 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 no." So they took Don in for questioning, and yeah, they had a they brought him into some kind of like a war camp, and we we got asked a few questions like the mortality of the Fae folk and like why they would be related to the Zamarakians, like if they would be eager to like follow them, something like that. And yeah, we eventually uh Don wasn't giving them great like answers that they would want to hear, right? So eventually they just let us go. We also saw a bunch of like powerful telescopes, and you know, uh, there was a little bit where Sir Hamilton came in and tried to get Sir Yule's attention, and obviously something big was sort of happening at that point. Thea tried to hear in, but she misheard something as hemorrhoids, so yikes. Natural one. How you gonna deal with that? But either way, eventually we were able to leave, and after walking a little bit, we sighted a Kintra campfire. Like there are a few Kintra hanging around with their sleeping gigantic dogs, so we really wanted to leave before making camp, because we wanted to have a nice distance between us and those guys. Yeah, and eventually, as we were walking along, we suddenly came across a big old uh like like ghostly battle. Like it was like we were in the middle of like a war movie where this battle is just playing like around us, like it's almost like in a loop. And eventually all these Skarga and Saradomin forces, like all these troops, they start slowly looking at us, and slowly, and since Alkana and Don failed their saves, they start to get attacked. And yeah, here we are. Ah!
That is indeed where we are. As you stand in the middle of this ancient battleground, the rain coming down relentlessly, passing through the ethereal forms of these soldiers caught in this eternal struggle, trying to finish out this battle that none of them, or at least none of these ones who walk the earth as spirits, were able to see to its proper conclusion. You see that the rain almost seems to illuminate them, giving them almost a staticky appearance. You see bludgeons, you see swords, you see shields flashing in and out of the rain that's pounding down around you. But right now, your attention is on the three ghosts that, with their red eyes glowing, finally taking note of your form while the rest are content to ignore you, have started to surround Alkana and Dawn, with Nia heading up the back of your party and Notrix at the front. I would like everyone to go ahead and do an actual initiative roll.
Woo!
Oh! I didn't do terrible, and
Oh, I didn't either. Hello, yeah, hello. Oh, Nia did
I've
amazing.
rolled
oh,
to a
Nia
24
got
with a
really
7.
good initiative.
Oh, wait.
What was
Never
that? Okay.
Oh, by the way, about a bardcore version of Ghostbusters.
Also, Seth, if you're listening to this recording, don't worry. Spoilers were taken out of your sheet, so I can't see some stuff. Story buys.
All right. So, as you see, that this goblinoid ghost that just appears to have seemed to almost like unhinge its ghostly jaw and give out this horrific scream that you all somehow managed to deflect, to hold yourselves, your wits steady across. Nia, what is Nia doing?
I think Nia, closer to her, sees this ghost lunging at Alcana, and she would.
Yeah, I'd say this ghost over here to the right is that goblinoid one. Over here is a wolf, that ghost that looks like a wolf, and over here, this one looks. Though their clothes appear tattered, looks a bit more like a knight. You can see a ghostly Ceradominus symbol hanging off of them.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I think she's gonna go after the one with the Ceradominus symbol, and she's gonna use Psychic Blades. Woo! There we go.
Oh,
Does she have to run
beautiful.
up to them with that, or is that a?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she can use a bonus action to make it a ranged attack, give it a range of 10 feet. But if she's not using a bonus action for that, then she has to run up to him.
Okay, she would run up to him, and use that. She would, slash at him.
All right, and I think she gets 3 attacks.
3? Okay. Can I do the same thing twice?
Yeah,
Those
of
two,
course.
Sure. This
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Man, that is one of the only things that this ghost is not resistant to or immune to. So yeah, as these sort of psychic blades, sort of ethereal blades, materialize at the ends of Nia's palms, she just whap, whap, whap. And you see as this ghost sort of shudders as bits of its ethereal form are cut away for a total of, what is that, 15, 23? Yeah, already this ghost looks a bit like it's having a bit tougher stuff. Meanwhile, you see as the battle continues to rage all around you, goblins in much sturdier forms that I think you, Don, would recognize as the ghostly remnants of orcs clash against these. You see, not too far ahead of you, this lumbering, what looks like a hill giant with several of these like hooks on chains, kind of digging into its ethereal flesh, kind of lumber through the rain. At the ends of these chains, you see several of these, what you assume are Ceradominus, these humans in chainmail, trying to pull it down. And this hill giant just topples to the ground, almost rolls over right through you before this tableau continues, all of them rushing further to the east in playing out this battle once more. Alcana, what are you doing?
I think Alcana, thinking that, okay, her performance wasn't too terribly good the last time, but this time she's going to hold up truth high, kind of trying to like look around at the various Ceradominus knights before advancing on this goblinoid over here and calling out in Icenic, "Faithful, charge!" which in Greek would be "Isto, Kerosi," or something like that, and then take a couple swipes with truth at it.
All right, as you step away towards this goblinoid, you see this large wolf-like ghost. As you look at it more closely, it seems to have the look like as if even in life, it's the fur on its face was somehow burnt away or something. It has this odd, kind of almost scarified look. It kind of bites towards you, and but it does not manage to hit you. You manage to evade it. All right, so Alcana, you strike once with truth, goes wide. The second time you bring it down, and you see that it actually gives the look of this ghostly armor being impacted, being dented. Is that your turn?
Let's see, can I do anything as a bonus action? I don't know, maybe I can make her like little like performance her bonus action to kind of like, I don't know.
Okay, I'll say you can roll a Roll a persuasion check, but it's going to be a pretty high DC to get anything to happen. Yeah, you shout out this Icenic phrase to the heavens, but it seems like all of these figures are still locked in this battle.
Oh well, I tried the creative route.
Now it's time to hit it till it dies.
All right, Notrix, what are you doing?
Well, we're not fully done with the creative route just yet. So, right then, this might be a long shot, but I want to give it a try. Notrix reaches into his pocket and brings out Osu's Omomori, a little trinket which apparently might be able to repel ghosts. And he sort of, I guess he waves it at the ghost wolf like a crucifix in a vampire movie, sort of, just raising it up and trying to see if it has any effect on this ghost.
You raise it up to see if it has any effect on this ghost. Do you want this to be your action?
I suppose so.
All right. I'm going to say make a religion check for me, Notrix. As you raise it in front of this wolf-like ghost, it sort of looks at you. You see it bare its fangs, and then it actually backs up a step. It's still, you can see that red glow is still boring into you with its eyes. It doesn't quite look frightened, but somehow you get the sense that you managed to repel it just a bit.
Was there any
doing
obvious,
anything with your?
Was there any
Oh, go ahead.
obvious magical effect from the object itself, or was that all like a recognition?
Not that you can see with the naked eye.
Yeah. Well, it did something. That's pretty cool. I use Shillelagh as my bonus action to get my staff ready.
All right, yeah, and your staff takes on a faint greenish glow. Well, with that, it is this wolf ghost's turn, and it sort of almost sidesteps away from you, Notrix, and it looks right towards Nia.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy!
Looks towards Nia, but then it focuses its gaze kind of over the rest of the group, and it sort of sits back, throws back its head, it lets out this wailing, unearthly howl. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
No.
And we're all in range of the +2. I believe.
Let's do. Yes, I should turn that aura on.
Oh, all right. So +2 to all of these?
Mhm.
Not that it
Okay.
helps, Don.
Yep, that's everybody.
So, yeah, Dawn, as you hear this howl, it shakes you to your core. Down your spine, you feel terrified. Dawn, you are frightened for the next minute.
Wasn't Don being frightened recently? Okay.
Dawn, are you alright?
No! Yeah, he's
All right. And that is this ghost's turn. With that, it is this other one, this goblinoid ghost. And it sort of looks towards you and frightened. I don't think frightened gives other creatures advantage on you. It just gives you disadvantage, right?
I think it's just a disadvantage
Yeah.
that I have to roll.
It says here, yeah, as long as he can see the wolf, he gets his advantage. And he can't move closer to him.
Yeah, but other creatures I don't think get disadvantage on him. So, yeah, you see this goblinoid creature kind of look towards you. Actually, right now, you're just kind of cowering, trying to avoid the gaze of the wolf, and it swings its ghostly mace towards you, Dawn. And as it impacts into the back of your tiny body, you feel like your veins choke up as this necrotic energy pulses through you. You take 20 points of damage.
Ah!
Ow!
as this other ghost kind of flits towards you. Alcana, I need you to make a charisma saving throw. You get the sense that it's almost probing your mind, but you manage to shake it off. Nothing happens for now. Dawn, what are you doing?
Don, after getting hit by that, I think he would like immediately just like flit to Alcana and like almost like hide behind her cloak and cast. Where is it? And cast. Oh, look at me, she resistance. So she will get a D8 to saving throws now.
Oh, very
to
nice.
1d8. One to saving throw of her choice. And also, you know what? While he was moving as a bonus action, can he try to hit that goblin with a blood bolt?
Sure.
Although it is disadvantaged, right?
Yes, it is.
Boop. Boop. Hey!
But that still manages to hit. So as you dart over to Alcana to hide out, you just give a boo, and a little bolt of your black blood manages to, just pierce right through the forehead of this ghostly goblin.
And Alcana just feels like Dawn shivering, like on her shoulder.
You'll be okay, little guy. You'll be okay.
And Mia, after seeing that, is gonna say, "Don't try to probe her mind. That's rude." And she's gonna slash.
Wow. Towards the wolf or towards the humanoid ghost?
Humanoid ghost boy.
Oh, okay. Very nice. That is a total of 20 points of damage. Hot damn.
Also, feel free to say no, but can I move like one to the right, just so I could be out of range of a wolf boy over there?
I mean, you can, but Wolf Boy will take an attack of opportunity against you.
You know what? Nah. I'll stay here. Alright, that's the end of Nia's turn.
All right. As you do this, you see the battle start to rage further around you. But it seems like these humans and goblinoids and unicorns are still mostly just focused on each other. No more gazing red eyes look towards you. Alcana, what are you doing?
Continuing to wail on that goblinoid over there.
Very nice. Yeah, you bring down Truth once, twice, continue hacking away. It almost seems to back up, surprised. You can see visible surprise on its ghostly face from being so soundly beaten here, but it's still standing.
Birthday boy.
Or floating, I guess.
Let's see. Bonus action. Ooh! There might be something I can use as a bonus action that I don't think I've used since 2018. Let us cast Sanctuary on Dawn.
Oh, wow.
You'll be okay, little buddy.
Yay!
That's a bonus.
Wait, do I have to do something?
All right, any creature who targets him must make a wisdom saving throw. Very nice.
You'll be okay, Dawn. We'll make it through this.
Does that like get rid of my fear, or sorry, this?
Doesn't get rid of your fear, but it just means that any creature who targets you will have a harder time trying to attack you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, Notrix, what are you doing?
Okay, I think I'll use a point of foresight to change out one of my spells, because I'm not especially equipped for ghost busting right this moment. So,
Sure.
I will just do this and then this. Okay. And I am going to cast the Moonbeam.
Moonbeam?
Yes. And let me just draw a square so I can see where it will be. It is a 5-foot radius one. Let's see. And I just wants to call down a moonbeam.
Classic.
Will that just clip the wolf if I put it there, or can I put it like that, Ian? Or what's your opinion?
Yeah, sure. I'll let you do that.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to plop it right there. A vibrant shaft of light comes down from the heavens and troubles these ghosts.
All right, so they need to make a
Constitution save.
Constitution save. All right, for both of these guys. I'll do the wolf first. All right, so I believe that the human succeeds, but the wolf fails.
Okay. And I forgot to mention
so
I'm going to cast it as a third level spell, so it's 1 more d10, so 3d10 damage.
All right.
14.
So the wolf takes 14 and the human takes 7. Yeah, you watch as this moonbeam kind of just hits down, bathing this otherwise gloomy area in light, and a bit of steam seems to appear from the wolf, which seems to recoil. But as you look at this knight, it just burns up and is gone in this beam of light.
And Notch just moves closer to the wolf and sort of, I guess, glares at it in intimidation almost. Because it was backing off before.
All right. So this wolf kind of looks at you, it crouches down, and it flies up into the air about 20 feet above you. As it does, you can take an attack of opportunity against it if you wish.
It's unexpected, but sure.
It's flying. Can Nia also?
Yeah, you smash towards it with your magical Staff of Yun Lo, and it sort of hits. It looks down at you, these baleful red eyes glowing. And then it continues floating up in the sky and seems to focus in on Nia. I would like for Nia to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Nia feels this presence suddenly in the back of her mind, but manages to shake it off. And that is its turn. Now it is the goblin. It has been attacked twice by Alcana now. It turns towards you, Alcana, focuses in, and it is going to just bring its ghostly mace right into your midsection. As you feel it impact with you, Alcana, and Dawn, you can almost see as briefly her veins in her neck pulse black as you take 24 points of necrotic damage.
I think I'll be fine.
Uh-oh. And I think Don, as it is his turn, is going to cast Cure Wounds.
Thank you.
And as a bonus action, he's gonna shoot up a blood bolt.
Yeah, you try to shoot a blood bolt towards that goblin, but it just, cowering as you still are, still frightened, it just, boom, impacts harmlessly into the, what was hard-packed, but now increasingly rain-soaked ground.
Okay.
Now, what is Nia doing?
Nia is looking up at this, flying wolf, and she's gonna say, well, expect that. And she's gonna use her bonus action to make her sorry. Make her psychic blade hit it from a distance.
Oh yeah,
Is that just
Let
one
me
attack?
see. I want to see what the range is on that because this thing is about 20 feet up in the air, and I'm not sure if it's increases it to 10 feet or 30 feet. Let's see. She's got so many features. Okay, yeah, it gives it a range of 30 feet. So yeah, she can do that. Uses her bonus action to focus in. And so, yeah, as these psychic blades appear in her palms more as projectiles, so now you can make 2 attacks if you wish.
Yeah.
Unless you use a key point to do like a flurry of blows or something. Or no, you can't do that
I'm
because
afraid
she
to
used her
use
bonus action to make it ranged. Sorry.
How do key points work? Do they refresh at the end of the day?
They refresh on a short rest, I believe.
Okay. And
Yeah.
the long one, I'm sure. So, yeah.
So yeah, one of these blades goes wide, but another one impacts into its chest, and you see it look down at you and kind of snarl. But Nia's not moving or anything.
You know what? She's gonna move back one. That's it.
Yeah. Nia, as you move back, you see out of the corner of your eye another set of a pair of red eyes boring in on you. And you notice that this goblin over here has stopped fighting and it is just staring, arms limp at its side.
I want to yell to the others, guys, more and more of these things are paying attention to us. I think we gotta go.
Alkana, what are you doing?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It broke!
Yeah, that second impact manages to hit into the goblinoid once more, just like slicing off more little chunks of its ghostly flesh.
And since I haven't done that in a while, let's roll on the botch table and hope it isn't too bad. Get some foresight.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
As you manage to hit into, like, go make a wide sweep and then on the backstroke hit into it with truth. But as you do, its ghostly palms seem to actually take hold of the hilt and grab onto your hands. And you feel as if this cold from its ghostly form seeps into your body, and you can tell that it's probably going to have advantage on its next attack against you. Nautrix, what are you doing?
Okay. So this wolf has moved over here, so I'm going to use my action to move this 40-foot high pillar of light over to where the wolf is. Yeah. And
All right. So I think at the start of its turn is actually when it's supposed to make the saving throw, but yeah.
yes. So yeah, it will have to deal with that shortly. And then I am going to cast Killing Word on Dawn.
Oh,
For
thank you.
8 healing.
Oh, you're so sweet.
And guess Nautilus is going to move over here.
All right. Now this wolf floating in the air suddenly caught once more in this beam of light. And that, I believe that's a success.
It is. So I guess it
Yeah.
a good roll. So it only takes 14 damage.
Yeah, so you can see it start to steam and shiver as it takes this damage from the moonlight, but it once more kind of almost rolls in the sky out of the moonbeam over here. And as it does, it seems to focus in on you, Nautrix. And it just like puts its body sleek and goes into a dive bomb towards you, and as it opens its jaw, it's going to try to hit you. And it does not at all.
Natrix just ducks down, avoiding this attack.
Yeah, avoiding that attack. It tries to hit you, but this time it doesn't go back up. It's kind of just hovering right here in front of you within reach. Now the goblin ghost, it looks towards you, Alcana, as it's holding you with one hand, reaches its other one, this time bare, back, and tries to thrust this hand into your chest. How? You had advantage in everything.
Oh well.
Oh well.
But it seems to not notice your holy symbol, and as that ghostly hand reaches this symbol, you see your Saradominus symbol light up. It brings its hand back after a second, just seeming to steam, and it lets go of your wrists. Don, what are you doing?
Thank you, Sarah.
I think Don is going to. Sorry. He's gonna cast. Where is it? Oh, I don't have it prepared. Fuck it. Okay. He is going to cast. You know what? He's gonna cast guidance on Arcana. Boop. Now she will have a 4 plus bonus or a 1d4 on a ability check.
All right, nice. But
with my
that
bonus
does
action.
also mean that the last spell you cast, that one fades because I believe that was also a concentration.
Oh, really? Ah, okay.
But it was a cantrip anyways. It didn't cost you a spell slot, I don't think.
Yeah. All right. Well, as my bonus action, I'm gonna shoot a blood bolt at it
With disadvantage.
with disadvantage. Dang it!
No, it has a low AC, so that still manages to hit. And
Okay,
you
that's-
watch as you kind of half-heartedly, almost wincing, closing your eyes as you let out your palm, and it shakily emits this blood bolt. This black bolt of blood hits it, and it just poof bursts into this cloud of ethereal nothingness.
Thank God.
Well done, Don. Well done.
How did I hit that? It's horrifying.
Maybe you're made of better stuff than you give yourself credit for, little guy. And she would try to pat him on the head with a finger.
All right, now what is Nia doing?
Nia is sees this wolf totally lunge at Natrix and just jump to the side, and she is going to rush up to it and pew 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 pew, or more, slash slash slash.
All right, what does it look like as Nia destroys this ghost wolf?
I think like as it lands, it like growls at Natrix, and then just from the side, Nia like sprints up to it and then like slashes it across the face, then slashes it across the body, then again the face again, and then
Yeah, you slash across the face, across the body, and just full of these ethereal cuts, it collapses into the dust and seems to just sink all the way down, disappearing from view, gone.
Ooh, nice dodge there, by the way.
You can see that this goblinoid ghost over here is still staring at you, but at this moment, all of these ghosts have been dispatched, and this one does not be making an immediate move to attack you.
Hey
As
guys.
the battle still continues to rage around you, ghosts flitting in and out of the raindrops.
Yeah, hey guys, that one's looking at us. I think we should take this moment and bail. ASAP.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
But
Yeah, let's
where
go.
what direction? You don't remember we were lost in this fog.
Ah, dang it. Which way did we come from? Can Nia like look at the ground and try to like find her tracks?
Sure. Nia can make a a survey check, either a perception or survival, and she gets a +1, but because of this heavy rain, she'll still be making that check with disadvantage.
Okay. What might I actually do this? Perception, you said?
Perception or survival.
Hey.
Yeah. Even with disadvantage, Nia is able to kind of look around, spot the tracks where you came from, and figure out that, yeah, if you keep heading north, you'll probably make your way out of this morass.
Hey, look! There's our tracks. Come on, let's follow them.
Alcana nods.
Okay.
All right, as you begin hurrying north along Nia's path, I would like everyone, the DC is lower this time, but I'd like everyone to make either a performance or a stealth check once more.
Everyone?
Yeah, that's much better.
Much better.
Oh yeah, that is everyone. So, soon make your way out of this battlefield, leaving it behind. The rain starting to ease up just a bit. Notrix, why don't you go ahead and move the compass rose to where you guys are moving on these planes?
Well, yes. As according to me, we're just retracing our steps currently, so we're going 1 square north.
All right. The rain is starting to let up. You are still feeling this chill starting to soak through you, through your clothes, to your skin, clammy, sticking to you. Dawn, by this point, your feelings of fright have passed. Well, actually, I guess they passed when the wolf died, or died again. But I would like everyone to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. It's a low DC, but if everyone would be so kind.
Greg, damn it!
Greg, damn it.
Do I roll on the botch table or no?
You can if you wish.
It's up to you.
I need the foresight.
Alcana, as you sort of feel these clammy clothes stuck around you, you feel your steps get a little heavy. You think that you can carry out the rest of the day's travel as you start to stomp across these plains, but you have one level of exhaustion.
Ugh.
Connor, are you okay? You're not looking great.
The cold's getting to me a bit. Oh, wait! Wait, no, it's too late for that. I could have used the thing with resistance from Dawn. No!
You have guidance.
I think that has like a 10-minute duration anyway before it disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. I'll just take the foresight and the level of exhaustion.
And even with resistance, it's a natural one, so sad face.
Let's keep going.
So, as the rain turns to a light mist, as you continue stomping across this blasted plain, it seems to have actually washed away some of the ever-present murk in Forinthry. Your gaze can take in more of the horizon line, and I think Nia and Notrix, you spot at around the same time a reindeer, maybe as much as a mile ahead of you. You're not sure, but kind of slowly trotting from east to west, almost at a leisurely pace, right across the path where you guys are marching.
Oh.
doesn't have anything on it, does it? Like a person or a bag?
You can make a perception check with advantage if you wish, since you have the spyglass.
Perception. Ooh.
As you hold up the spyglass to your eyes, gaze through it, you can see that there is a figure on top of it. From the armor, it appears to be a white knight, but they seem to be slumped over in the saddle on this reindeer.
Huh. There's a white knight on that reindeer, but he looks hurt.
Ah,
Should we
that's
do
not a
something?
good sign.
Oh, do we want to approach him?
How far away
With
is
him?
he? Again.
Maybe a little bit less than a mile away. It seems like if you continue on your current trajectory, your paths will probably come pretty close to crossing anyways.
It doesn't sound like it's too much of a detour.
No. Well, we've been helping the White Knight a little bit lately, so I suppose we might as well help this potentially wounded person.
And at the very least, we can find out something about maybe what dangerous thing caused him, whoever they are, to be that way.
Which way are they
could
coming
make a
from?
guess.
The east or west?
The reindeer seems to be trotting towards the west, like it came from the east.
Okay. Interesting. Alright.
As you approach, get closer, you can see that this reindeer actually has maybe a very slight limp, and the figure slumped over. There are at least 2 or 3 what look like crossbow bolts sticking out of his back. You think for a second that he's dead, but then Nia picks up that there's a very faint rise and fall to the back, as if he's breathing very laboredly.
Well, guys, look, he's alive.
Ah, would it be possible to get close enough to him to use some cure wounds?
Absolutely. This reindeer, as you approach closer, it's not really trotting casually exactly as you thought before, but seems to be more just walking very slowly as if it's aimless and hurt.
So yeah, I think she's going to use cure wounds on the rider first.
Maybe Don would fly down to the leg and use cure wounds too.
Oh, okay, very nice. Yeah, the reindeer kind of stops, looks a little bit tense as you approach, but I think, with your natural healer's aura, you approach, put a hand on the back of the rider, Dawn, you kind of heal the reindeer. The reindeer seems actually, from Dawn's healing, far more takes far more out of it. It seems like that's enough to fully heal up its leg, while the rider sort of comes back to consciousness. You hear, "Oh,
Are you all right?
dear Sarah Doman." As he lifts up his head, you can see that one of his eyes is swollen shut, that there is dried blood from his lips. But still battered as he is, you recognize the face. He was the more reticent of the pair of knights who apprehended you, Sir Henley.
Oh, it's you. What happened to you?
Where am I? You see, he kind of starts up, looks around. Oh my. Oh, Houghton, old bean. You've saved both of us. And he pats the neck of the reindeer. I thought I was dead.
What happened to you?
What hurt you?
It was horrible. The earth opened up beneath us. An earth full of teeth, full of hellish vapors. Had to been 3/4 of the camp was destroyed in one fell swoop. That was gone. We thought the horrors were over. Over the hill, Kintra came, descended on us, took out most of the stragglers. I suppose Houghton and I somehow managed to get away, but... Oh, dear Sarah Doman.
That sounds awful. I'm so sorry.
They must have known. Somehow they must have. What terrors do these Zamarakians control?
Something that can move the earth itself, it seems.
Just like Renborough.
What? And to mention that.
Yeah, Alcana would kind of put a finger over his mouth.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's extremely concerning.
Have you... I'm not sure how far we are from the battlefield. Have you seen any others? Any of my fellows? Any of the squires? Or any of the proselytes? Or even, dare say, any of the full-fledged knights who came this way?
No, just you. We were caught up with our own trouble just not too long ago, though it was a different trouble than yours.
Oh, coming from the south.
We were trying to head more northerly, but we got turned around in the storm.
I suppose I owe you an apology. So caught up in tracking for every little piece of minutiae, we didn't stop to consider the monolith rising on our doorstep.
Monolith?
This force, this immense, whatever this was, this thing that can rend the earth and swallow up whole camps, swallow up tens of people at a glance.
Huh. Well, that sounds like something that should be stopped for everyone's good.
They must have had intelligence spies or something. They knew that we were coming.
Well, a force as large as yours, it's probably not difficult to see it from a fair way away.
We were expecting, if they were to meet us, that we'd spot war camps, that we'd spot scouts, that we'd spot a large marching force, not something that would come out at us from under the ground.
All you remember are, teeth and stuff? You don't remember anything else about this monster?
It was... The earth itself started shaking. We hear of tremors coming out of this part of the country. I actually overheard a few rumors of something similar from some of the front bounders, but the dragoons have
Yes, we've
limited
heard those rumors as well.
The dragoons have limited the exchange of information between them and the Asgardians. Perhaps if they'd been more forthcoming, we would have known what to expect. Some of us were thrown to our feet, and then suddenly the earth cracked, and I couldn't get a clear view of exactly what it was. I'm sorry to say that in that moment, terror overtook me. He turned and tried to run. I saw the whole earth start to descend towards a point at the center of the camp, like a whirlpool.
A whirlpool? So the earth was being sucked down?
Kind of like a sinkhole?
Something like that, but I don't know. There was a malice to it. There was an intention behind it. It's far more than bad fortune.
It certainly sounds like it. It sounds like maybe it seems they can have control over some kind of a monster underneath the earth that's so great it can do such things. Or at least that's the impression I seem to get from what you've just told me. Though for the life of me, that's outside the scope of my training.
I don't think it would be one monster. Sure that would be beyond uh, beyond the scale of anything anyone could control. But perhaps many creatures working together.
I cannot say for certain. I thank you, all of you, for healing me. I may have bled out without it. Believe I should be sturdy enough now to ride a little further, find some sheltered spot, bandage myself up, and take a rest.
Well,
Going to-
Godspeed to you, sir.
Thank you. I'm going to try to make the rest of the journey to Miracle Grove, alert Grandmaster Vile's forces. Well, Godspeed to all of you as well. He sort of kicks off from the back of his reindeer. You see little clouds of dust materialize behind him as he gallops off beyond you.
Well, that's extremely concerning. I'm glad we were able to help him.
Yes.
Seems
So-
like we might want to go more northly for now in case any of those forces are still lingering around.
Yes, there was a reason why I didn't lead us all back towards the west.
Oh, you're a good guide, Notrix. The best.
So, Notrix, as you having kind of lost the first third of the day to being turned around, taking the plains, go ahead and make another guide check. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Easily, you're able to, you don't feel as turned around this time. And go ahead and, yeah, move that compass rose where you're going.
Slightly tempted to go look at the camp again. But,
It's probably occupied by Kinsha right now.
well, maybe not probably, but possibly.
I don't know. Maybe northeast?
Well, you want to try and attempt to go through this mountain pass again? Go to the north side of this mountain range here?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Try and
We're going
go.
that valley.
Yeah. So I guess move here. Or wait, guess move there. I guess we're sticking to the bottom half of this hex, I guess. Not the lower half of the mountain. Lower part of the mountain half.
Yes. As you ride forward and meet the mountains, you can see them rising around you. You try to look for the pass between them as you can see the large silhouettes of these mountains disappearing into the murk, that there must be a veil, a pass. As you are trying to look for this space, you can see that actually towards their bottom, these mountains, they kind of, there's a slope and then they shear off into these cliff faces, maybe about 10 meters high. As you ride along these cliffs, you can see that there is only, as far as you can tell, one passage that seems to make its way between them, maybe about 15, 20 feet wide. See me switching so flagrantly between imperial and metric measures. And kind of between these two cliffs, as this passage goes through the mountains, it's fairly dark, and you can tell that this is probably going to be the only way forward walking along this particular direction.
Looks pretty dark. I'm thinking that Alcana would probably tentatively lift up her eye patch just preemptively.
Yeah, lifting up your eye patch, you can see through these passages a little bit more clearly. You can see that there are kind of regular, what look like. Make a nature check, Alcana. As you lift up your eye patch and look through this darkened passage, you can see that the way that the stone is worn away, the way that there are actually a few, like, kind of almost spikes of stone sticking up midway through this fairly level, though also somewhat narrow passage between these cliffs, that this must have at one time in the past been an outflow channel of water, possibly even glacial ice or partially glaciated ice. That this, yeah, is a channel that was worn by an old waterway. As if there was at some point a larger body of water beyond this.
That's interesting. Seems like it might have been formed, this passage might have been formed by a flow of water. That there might be some kind of a body of water past that.
Well, hopefully it's one from ages past and it's not flowing at this day.
Yes, I would rather not mountaineer or cave when we have a lot of flowing water to deal with. I don't exactly have good memories from the last time.
So, Nautrix, following this kind of pass between them, I think your compass rose would end up moving about there. As you start to wend your way through this narrow pass through the mountains, Nia, you're the first to spot them. A little bit higher up on these cliff faces are a few more you can see ahead of you, a couple more of these boreholes. They look similar to the ones that you spotted those bird people living inside of.
Guys, I think there might be some more bird people around here. See those boreholes?
Oh, Lord Almighty. I definitely wouldn't want to tangle with them if we don't have to.
Oh, hang on a minute. I don't think the bird people created the borehole. They were just living in them.
Then
These
it could
ones,
be those bug things we ran into earlier.
And I wouldn't want to tussle with them again either. It seems that they confused us pretty thoroughly, and well, I'd rather not have us falling off any cliffs.
you say these look more like the ones that we first saw, rather than the ones that were made by the creatures. Because remember, the ones made by the creatures looked a bit different than the ones that were bird people were living in.
Does it have like a tarp in front of it or something like that?
You don't spot any tarps. You don't spot any kind of produced goods.
I don't see anything, man-made or bird-made. It's more just natural boreholes. So,
Well, that doesn't sound too bad, but we should also still keep an eye out just in case.
I know I said this last time, but I kind of wish to investigate them. Because
has that not gone terribly well the last couple times, Nautrix, honestly?
yes, but we saw from the one that was inhabited by those bird people that, well, it didn't look very natural, did it? It was very, very cylindrical, unnaturally so. And well, if there was some kind of ancient mining operation in the area, I think, well, the people doing the mining might have been people that we'd be quite interested in.
That's fair.
yeah,
John, do you feel up to it?
You know what? Bird people, bug people. I doubt I'll come across any of that. All right? Yeah, I'll look. I'll peek in there.
No, this time, how about we all go in? rather than sending one person to get ambushed inside.
You know what? Actually, that's a great idea. Yep, perfect. Good.
Yep, and as they decide on that, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw on some aberrant vigor for that free temp HP.
Dom was
Ooh.
easily acting brave.
All right, that's fine. So I'm going to use the this mountains card since you're walking through these mountains.
Wow.
So Nautrix, I assume you're leading the charge. Alcana and Dawn in the center. Nia taking up the back.
Sure.
Nautrix, as you approach, you can see just at the entrance of the lowest one of these boreholes, it has a very smooth, a very round look to it. But yeah, quickly disappears, seems to descend at a slightly sharp angle downwards.
So I guess we approach the borehole and well, first do a quick check to see if it looks inhabited in any way. It's not like a horrible monster just sitting right there waiting to bite us.
Alcana's got her eye patch up to see if she can look past any of the dark stuff that may be in there.
Yeah, and I'd say this counts as a cave, so Nautrix you can see too. Roll an investigation check. Or a nature check, either one.
Well, one of those is better.
As you look down this corridor, trying to piece together if there's anything living in there, you get a closer look at the sort of abrasions along the side. And at first, you had thought that maybe they were made with tools, but looking at them more closely, you can see regular patterns of very shallow but still definite 4 grooves at a time, as if to suggest something with kind of blunt claws. It looks as if this is naturally made. And from the way that it's bored, that whatever has made this borehole can probably tunnel pretty quickly. The stone here seems very solid, so you're really feel like you can't be sure whether or not there is a beast lurking further in or not.
Do these claw marks look similar to? Well, does the cave as a whole more similar to the ones the birds were living in, or the ones we fought the Umberhold to?
It definitely looks closer to the ones that the birds were living in.
But there are claw marks like the umber.
Can we tell if the claws look Umberholdy at all? Is that the thing?
Not really. The Umber Hulk's claws were almost more like these large, scoriating blades that were sort of rounded and that they'd use to kind of scrape off chunks of rock. These, it almost looks like some kind of a creature with a sort of naturally shovel-like or drill-like aspect to its burrowing accoutrement.
And the tunnel as a whole is very tubular.
Yeah, looks quite round.
Does that suggest intelligence, or does that just mean the creature was around?
I think you're really not sure.
Yeah, that was more of a thinking out loud, I guess.
Is Natrix telling us this out loud?
Yeah, that would be something in character he'll be wondering out loud, yes. He's wondering whether it's natural or made by intelligence.
Well, if there's nothing but creatures in this cave, I don't think this cave would, bear anything interesting, huh?
But what if it wasn't made by a creature? I mean,
Like a person?
yes, it was certainly made by a non-human, I guess. But it could be an intelligent being. It's just that
Hmm.
the perfect cylindricalness of the hole makes me think that. I suppose
Was
some
the
animals can make very cylindrical holes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, was the Umber hole as symmetrical and cylindrical as the other holes we've been seeing, or nah? Was it more messy?
Yeah, their holes were definitely a little bit more uneven and they were a bit more oblong.
This does look more neat than the Umbra holes. Well, do you think we should venture further down, or do you think we should look inside of other holes?
I get the feeling they're going to be fairly similar. Well,
Hmm.
are there a number of them in close proximity we could check quickly to see if there's any differences?
Yeah, there are a few of them. Yeah, most of them kind of a little bit elevated from the ground of this passage, though a few that are more at ground level. And yeah, you kind of walk from one to the other. As you do, they all just seem like fairly clean. One of them that's closest to ground level, you can see that there's a little bit of like stony debris actually in front of it, but none of them seem to have any huge, just looking at their entrance ways, any huge factors that differentiate them.
And
Hmm.
none of them look inhabited, do they? Well, obviously so. At least.
Not as far as you can tell.
Okay. Well, what do you think? Want to venture inside just a little?
Well, a little, but keep your wits about you.
Yes. Everyone hears or senses anything, make sure we know. If there is something in there, well, we should probably get out as quickly as possible. Unless
Well, that's
unless we see something that we actually want to go see. But if it's just some sort of animal burrow, then well, there's not much point in going in, I guess.
let's hit it with the good old classic detect magic.
Uh, yeah, you stop, concentrate, Alcana. You don't detect any magic, at least not in the immediate 30-foot range of this burrow of this hole.
She just shrugs.
Hey, Don, before we go in, you had that. You've been using that thing recently, the spell which makes it harder for animals or people to track us. Pass without trace.
Oh, yeah.
That might be
Here, I can
useful
use that.
here.
I'm gonna cast it.
And with that, I think we tentatively enter the hole.
All right, you begin one after the other, single file, as there's not really much room to walk abreast. Trek your way into the hole, kind of bracing your hands against the smoothish walls as the rock starts to slope downwards. I would like everyone to make a stealth check with disadvantage. You still get the +10 from Pass Without Trace, but if everyone would be so kind as to make a stealth with disadvantage.
16.
17?
Let's see. Spinach.
Oh, yeah!
Nia's fine.
Of course, Nia has
And
that.
Don's 22, so.
So you manage to get maybe 50 feet into this chamber when suddenly you feel something. Feel this low tremor. You feel the rock starting to shake around you.
Uh-oh. Deja vu.
And suddenly, Alcana, right behind you, this shovel nosed, immense, not immense, but this very robust creature, one whom you've spotted before, burst out of the stone from below, and its huge shovel-like mouth bites at your leg.
Ah!
And with that, let me go ahead and draw another little passage on here.
Okay. We don't learn our lesson, do we?
No, you don't.
Well, I don't learn our lesson because this is my idea.
Okay, maybe we should stop going into random holes.
But
What if there's something interesting?
Yes! Dying is not very interesting, Dawn.
Oh, God damn it. I love your art. Do you have a Patreon? Oh shit! Look at that thing.
Yeah, that's actually the default for a basilisk, but it is one of these creatures that you know as a brutalo.
Oh yeah.
So
This thing again.
I'm gonna go ahead and just stick with the initiative that we rolled last time, and I'll give Olcana the first turn, and then we'll use that. We'll say that Wolf Ghost is the brutalo. So Alcana, as you are chomped on by this huge shovel-like mouth of this creature as it bursts from the stone, just a darkness all around you. I'm assuming that one of you guys lit a torch or something for those without dark vision. What are you doing?
Well, best not waste any time. Attack! Attack!
Yeah, you try twice, bring down truth on it, but just in this limited space, it kind of sparks against the stone walls, does not manage to impact. Notrix, what are you doing? You are at the head of this party.
Okay, Notrix hears all this and turns around, sees this brutality coming out of the walls, and well, I want it to be gone very quickly, so I'm going to just go and unleash a blight on it.
Woo! Woo!
A big spell.
Yum.
Oh,
That's,
very
Constitution
nice.
saving throw it needs to make.
All right, let's see. Oh, it
That
shouldn't
is
have had advantage, but it doesn't matter anyways.
Yes, DC is a 16.
Yeah, you sort of push past Dawn, put a hand on it, and as you do, you can see Alcana, its limbs start to shrivel slightly. It is still hanging on, but it looks like it is just half mummified by this fell swoop curse that Notrix has placed upon it. Anything else on your turn?
Shall I guess, standard thing.
All right. This creature, it sort of is still reeling from this, and as it turns back, it sort of turns around, faces you, Notrix, and you see it within the confines of this cave, actually like splay out its limbs and do this kind of half crawling leap over Dawn towards you. Notrix, I need you to make a strength or dexterity saving throw.
Okay. No +2.
Oh,
Out of range.
Sadly.
yeah, but still, that's 18 is very nice. As you take this, it kind of lands right on the other. Actually, I think it lands right here, sort of near Dawn. It doesn't pummel you, Dawn, but it's kind of here in the same space as you.
Yeah.
And you manage to kind of sidestep it, but still, as it lets go of the ceiling, plops down onto the wall, onto the ground. You still take Notrix 7 bludgeoning damage and 7 slashing damage. And Dawn, now it is your turn.
Ah! What is with these damn things? And Dawn is going to. You know what? It'll probably work. He's going to cast poison spray.
All right. Let me make a Constitution saving throw.
Yes. Fail.
Yeah, you tried to cast poison spray, but in the chaos of this limited space, you're unable to line it up. It goes wide.
And I think I'm also gonna use a
You're gonna
disengage
disengage.
action. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go this way, and as I do, I'm also going to shoot it with a blood bolt.
Do it.
Woo! Damn it! Wait,
Ah!
sorry.
Oh yeah,
Sure,
you
have
don't
to-
have disadvantage anymore, but yeah, still you try to line up this bolt, and as it hits onto its heavily armored hide, it just seems to ping off without doing any damage.
Ah, damn it.
At this point, you hear, Dawn, behind you, more activities. Boom, boom, boom. Something else grinding up along this bend in the tunnel. You look back to see another one of these creatures kind of going from wall to wall, wending its way down right towards you. And as it spots you, it is going to rear back and lift up its head and try to take a big chomp out of you.
Ah! It hits me. Or
Yeah.
It bites me.
As it chomps onto you, kind of half gets one of your wings, which you manage to barely pull out of its jaws. Yeah, you take 23 points of piercing damage. Alcana, what are you doing?
I think we should probably try and get out of here. We don't want a repeat of what happened last time. I think she's going to back up, but as she does, she is going to... Let's see. How far back can she get? Hereabouts, and then fire off a couple of Eldritch Blasts at the one that's menacing Notrix.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, I'm sorry. I was distracted trying to figure out why this turn order, why I can see it and you can't. Yeah, ease back, fire off a couple of Eldritch Blasts, and both of them just slam into this thing. Boosh, boosh. You can see that black charred marks that they leave
Let's get
On
out
it-
of here!
on its tough hide. All right, Notrix, what are you doing? You got this thing menacing you right now.
Notrix turns to John behind him and says, "John, make towards the entrance."
All right.
And let's see. I guess. Should I hit it with a stick or should I do a tidal wave? I think I'll do a tidal wave. I've been doing that a lot recently. Yeah, Notrix pushes his hands forward and summons a wall of water to just spill across this creature through the tunnel. And yeah, dexterity saving throw. 48.
All right. And could you also make a dexterity saving throw for Nia?
Okay.
Ugh.
Well, it wouldn't be
You're
out if
fine.
I guess maybe it would. I don't know.
Jeez,
Yeah.
feet wet.
They both succeed.
Okay, so yeah, you create this wall of water. This creature manages to kind of dig itself in, its claws digging into the solid stone. You see Nia further down the passage, kind of half waterlogged by this, but she manages to get back onto her feet. Nia takes 6 points of damage.
Ugh. Some got in my mouth.
All right. With that, this creature kind of shakes off this water that has just passed over it. And once
Before
more,
it does that, they
yes.
hit it with this for 1 damage. If it fails. 1 damage.
Yeah.
Hey! You did one damage! You won
Got him.
D&D!
Yeah, you see this necrotic damage descend upon it as these spores invade its form. And though that it is reeling from that, it still somehow manages to find its center to bite at you.
Oh.
And you manage to sidestep it, Notrix. It seems dazed enough by these spores, these horrific, debilitating spores, that it's not getting a clear shot at you. Dawn.
Well, Dawn is going to cast Gust of Wind on this boy.
All right.
I think he needs to make a strength throw or be pushed 15 feet away.
All right. Let's make a strength saving throw.
Yeah,
16.
passes. Damn it.
Yeah. It's kind of digs its claws in, but you can tell that as long as you can keep the concentration up on this, it will still move more slowly when trying to get to you.
Okay. In that case, I think I'm gonna use my bonus action and my dash action to fly 60 feet.
Dash or disengage?
Disengage. But does that mean I only have 30 feet?
Yeah.
Still a decent amount of movement.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, unless you want to take the opportunity attack.
I don't think you want to do that, Dawn.
I have
plan.
really low health, so I'm gonna go. 5, 20, 25, 30. Okay. He's gonna fly this way.
Yeah, you kind of half flatten yourself against the top of this tunnel, flit over this other bullet, fly out of range.
And the whole time he's just like, ow, 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 because there's a nasty gash in his wing.
Do you get to blast them when you disengage?
I think, that doesn't break my concentration, so he should still be under that gust of wind.
Oh yeah, but you could use an Eldritch Bolt since you're using your
Disengage?
using your rogue action if you
Oh.
wanted to. Yeah,
can I do that?
disengage is a rogue thing.
Woo! Boop.
But it doesn't manage to hit.
Dang
All
it.
right. What is Nia doing?
Oh, that's me. Nia kind of like motions Dawn to her, like, come on, and she is going to, from a distance, use her psychic blades. And I think from a distance she can only do 2, right?
Yeah.
Slash. Oh no.
Yeah, she certainly starts tossing these ephemeral blades, but all of them go wide, kind of clang off the stony sides of this passage.
Damn it.
With that, this other creature, it digs itself in as this wind is still kind of originating from you, Dawn, down this passage. And Notrix, you hear this grinding as you see this creature start to dig its way into the floor of this cavern to where you cannot see it.
Whew. Thank God that's over.
Alkana, what are you doing?
I think she is going to cast Sanctuary. I'm probably going to cast Sanctuary. Or wait, no, that requires a touch action. Shoot. Actually, I think she'll move up here, give Dawn on Sanctuary, and then blast the thing with Eldritch Blast again. Not getting too close.
All right.
Thank you. Ow.
Yeah, both of these blasts manage to hit, boom, boom, 2 more charred marks on its hide. It's still going pretty strong, but you can see a little bit more from the desiccation and these accumulated attacks. It's starting to make an impact. Notrix, what are you doing?
I guess I'm going to hit it with a stick. I'm going to go wham, and then kick it. Wham.
And he's gonna go, ow.
Oh, I like the name. Is this the first time you've used that?
I used it in the fight in Ardoin. But yes, the name is quite funny.
Yeah, you bring down the staff down on its head. You see you manage to disorient it again. You try to kick, but the way that it's swaying, it manages to perfectly, serendipitously avoid your feet. Now it kind of gets itself, centers itself once more, focuses in on you.
And it gets
And
hit by
it's
spores for 1 damage.
all right. Let
Holy
me
shit.
make a Constitution saving throw. See if it can. This time it manages to seal itself and somehow avoid this debilitating spore damage as it opens its shovel-like mouth, its flat teeth wide in its jaw, and just bite right towards your legs. But
And
I
misses.
don't believe that hits you.
It's not.
Yeah, you manage to kind of brace your arms against the side of the cavern and almost half leap over it as its head shoots forward and then it rears back once more. Dawn, what are you doing?
Oh, okay. Dawn is going to he's just gonna cast Healing Word on Natrix. Boop. And then he's going to cast a Blood Bolt as he flies to the left 30 feet.
I don't think that you can actually do that because those are both bonus actions.
Oh no! Stop it. Okay.
But you can use a
Can
regular
I-
action.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the weird things about the D&D action economy, but you can't use a bonus action as a regular action.
Can I change my idea?
Sure.
Okay. Can I cast Plant Growth? Like right under the creature. And I kind of want to try to tangle it up.
No, because Healing Word is a spell, and if you cast 2 spells on a turn, one of them has to be a cantrip.
Oh no, like what's it called?
Oh,
can I
change
do
your
this
entire
instead?
turn.
Yeah,
Oh.
instead of doing Healing Word. Sorry, Natrix, I'll
oh.
do that.
This is kind of what Foresight was invented for.
I'll spend the foresight.
Wait, Don, a tiny bit of
Wait.
advice. That
Uh-huh.
plant growth will affect me as well. Because I need to get past here.
You don't
Okay.
have like
Consider that.
you don't have what's it called? Oh no,
No, he
that's
does
an
not have
apothecary
wings.
thing. Fuck, okay, never mind. Oh no.
So there might be
Okay.
other things you can do.
Can I give you another foresight to change my idea?
You didn't use this idea yet. You're still, talking it out.
Yeah, technically, you haven't actually done anything with reaction that can be done with reaction.
Oh boy. Okay. Don is going to cast Poison Spray. Boom.
All right. Signature move. That you can do while also casting a Healing Word.
Okay. Healing
All
Word.
right.
Roll for damage.
And
Oh.
it impacts. It actually impacts.
Yeah.
You watch as this poison spray burns across its heavy gray flesh, actually leaving it pitted, leaving it bleeding. This thing looks like it is rough.
Haha. And he's also gonna fly 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Well, just right here. Just right here. Because he has low health and he doesn't want to be in the way of that thing. And that's the end of his turn.
All right. What is Nia doing?
Nia, same thing. You know what? She's just gonna hit it
Couple
with some...
psychic blades.
Yeah, a couple of psychic blades
Do it.
from afar. Udo, dos. Haha, yeah.
And what does it look like as she tears this thing apart?
I think one of the blades like lands right, like almost like not between the eyes because it's turned around, but like right onto like the spine of this thing in the back, and then like as it's like right raising its head up to like bite down on Natrix, it like the next one lands right in the middle of the back of his head, and then he slumps.
Yeah, it lands in the back of its head. And Natrix, as this thing looks like it's about to rear towards you again, its eyes just roll back and it, boom, falls to the ground dead.
Nice
Ooh.
shot.
Thank you.
Watch out, the other one might be emerging any second now.
Yes, let's get out of here.
Come on.
And indeed, Alcana, as he says that, you can feel another faint rumbling. What are you guys doing?
Getting the frick out of here. Run!
We go.
That's probably the best idea.
All right. As you guys scramble your way out of this tunnel, I would like everyone to make either an athletics or an acrobatics check. See how effectively you're able to scramble over each other through these walls.
And then Mia. Oh wow. Oh no. Sepral.
Notrix, as you kind of quickly overcome your fellows to take the lead as you are walking back. Let's see. I'm not sure which, so I'm going to roll for it.
Oh, the IRL dice.
Dawn, you are flitting along when suddenly, from the side of this passage, there is a burst of stone, and this creature emerges once more. As these rocks go flying, it tries to bite at you with its shovel mouth.
Jesus
It has to
Christ.
make a wisdom saving throw, go sanctuary.
Oh, shoot, that's right. Very nice.
Please, thank you.
It fails.
It tries to bite at you, but as it does, it seems to waver a bit and just kind of crash, like chin first, into the bottom of this chamber.
Oh god, I think you just saved my life.
I'm glad, friend. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, we still go.
Yeah, Alcana and Nia, you sort of scramble over it once more. Maybe you attach Don to the back of Notrix, who seems to have no trouble making his way through these caves. So Nia and Alcana, once more, make either an athletics or an acrobatics check as you are heading into the final home stretch out of this passage.
Woo.
And you can hear more of this grinding behind you, but you manage to somehow, as you are scrambling over each other, keep one step ahead of this creature until you eventually emerge kind of in a cannonball, tumbling over each other out of the cave. As you look back, you can spot faint glints of a couple of eyes come to the head of it and then recede back into this round, worn passage.
Next time, let's stop delving into random holes. I'm thinking she could give Don 10 points to lay on hands so he's not immediately dying.
Thank you.
Well, at least we know what makes both kinds of holes now. One's that other creature, and one was Brutalo.
Yes, and now we know to avoid them.
It's kind of suspicious, really, that the wilderness, that Frimfree has so many animals or so many creatures capable of tunneling.
Why is that suspicious?
I don't know. It's just that the Zamrakians have co-opted the services of some kind of creature which can bury entire settlements under the earth.
Oh yeah. Huh.
But well, let's not venture into any random holes then, unless there's actually a reason to. Who knows? There might be stockpiles of Moonite ore or something magical back there, but I don't think it's worth going if you don't know that if there's anything in there.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
So, Notrix, as you continue leading the party, this time far more carefully, far more gingerly through this passage, you see after another about half hour of walking that the valley seems to sort of open up on either side. And eventually you exit from this pass through the mountains, and you can see kind of more of these planar area between what seems to be almost a valley, mountains to the east and to the west of you, and stretching out into the murk to the north. So, Notrix, go ahead and make another guide check. All right. And yeah, go ahead and move that compass rose where you're going.
Okay, I guess just one north. And probably reveal if it goes strange.
As you continue walking, sort of spotting these scarps rising to either side of you, you see on atop one of these lower kind of rocky hills to the east of you, there is what seems to be this utterly bizarre looking skeleton. It looks kind of round and crumpled in. You can see ribs, you can see femurs, and it's right on top of this scarp, and it has what seem to be twigs stuck through it. Whatever it was, it looks like it was pretty large. Looks like it was probably something much bigger than any of you or any of the creatures that you've faced against in Forentry so far.
What the heck is that?
Oh, some kind
giant.
of creature. Can we tell from a distance how old it looks? Or is that something we need to be very close to see?
It does not have that kind of yellow brown fossilized look of extremely ancient bones. More than that, though, you feel like you can't really be totally sure if it's something that's, a month old or a decade old.
Okay. I know that poking things hasn't been going well, but this thing's already dead. So surely it can't go bad if we go up and have a look at it.
You do realize 4 and 3 is absolutely saturated with necromantic magic. It could come back to life on us if we do bad things.
That is a valid point.
I haven't completely forgotten my training on the undead, and she just kind of shrugs.
From here, can we tell if it's like humanoid or quadruped?
It doesn't seem humanoid. Beyond that, you're not totally sure.
And how big did you say it was?
It's pretty large. It seems to be kind of crumpled into this almost like just a clump of bones that looks like it's maybe around 6 feet across, or maybe 8 feet across.
What if we made ourselves invisible and went up to it?
Well, that might turn out to be what's the word? Over cautious. But
Hmm.
I don't know. What if it has eyes and its eyes ain't dead? The rest of it could be dead, but its eyes ain't.
how would that work?
I don't know.
don't think I've heard of anything remotely like that.
Okay. How about that's a good idea then. Make us invisible, and then we can go look at it without any worry.
All right.
Except it worries
I
about
could-
bumping into each other.
Right now I could only make 2 people invisible. So who wants to go?
I guess
Natrix?
I'm the expert on skeletons, I guess.
Sort of.
I think Nia would pipe up and say, wait, actually, can I turn 2 people invisible at the same time?
You can, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think, if you cast invisibility at a higher level, it lets you cast it on additional people.
Yeah, in that case, yeah, Nia would say,
You know what? I think I'd like to go too.
I'll keep watch back here, then, I guess.
alrighty then. I'll stay with you, Alcana. And I tap both of them, and boop, and
So, Nia and Notrix, invisible, you kind of go scrambling up to this low rock escarpment, and you kind of have to approach it from the side. You can see beyond. It stretches into sort of the Rocky Mountains that stretch to a peak somewhere in the gray haze of the murk above you. But as you approach this, scramble over these rocks, approaching from the back of this cluster of bones, I'd like you guys to both make either nature or investigation checks.
nature.
Yeah, Notrix, as you spot it, you kind of approach it very carefully, almost on hands and knees, when suddenly there's a ah! And you half jump back when you see this little bald head pop up from the center of it, and you see what looks like a baby dusk raptor. And now seeing all these bits of like dead straw and multiple bones, it seems like this multiple skeletons have been turned into a nest. You can see 2 more eggs in there, along with this one, kind of, it appears eyeless, hook-beaked, small, knobby neck. The bones themselves, they look like they come from multiple quadrupeds, something that looks almost almost similar to a cow, but far more robust, and that seems to have a horn at one end that's kind of been mixed in with these. There is one of these skeletons, looks like it might, putting it together, you'd think it might be from one of those hulks that you faced off against. And then another one, the largest one, and also the one that's the most fragmented, takes you a second to examine, to put it together before you realize 4 limbs, tail, an elongated face, wings, that this might be the partial skeleton of a dragon. And what's more, in this sort of half-crushed skull towards the bottom of this nest, there seems to be an odd rock that's been wedged into one of the eye sockets.
Well, you a cute little fella.
Look at the little dusk raptor.
Ah!
Does Nia also see this rock, or
What's that?
this rock between one of the skeleton's eyes? Does she see that?
I mean,
too?
Notrix can point it out to her.
Hey, yeah, look at that cool rock. Does Notrix remember like a dusk raptor's territorial, or what would their reaction be to people poking around? Can I surmise?
They're probably not going to enjoy it much, but they also, you can tell that this creature, it's a small bird. You don't think that it's going to pose too much of a threat to you.
Oh, you never know. Okay, so dragon skeleton.
Jeez. It's like this thing's mom killed almost every type of creature up in 4 and 3.
I suspect it's more scavenging rather than. Although it would be quite an effort to carry some of these bones here.
Yeah, Tree's
I'd
mom
say
must
with
be
that
pretty big.
with that nature check and from what you know about desk raptors, you'd probably put it together that it probably wasn't a desk raptor that originally made this nest.
Ooh. Is there any remnants of what might have originally, like discarded eggshells or things that look like they didn't come from a dusk raptor?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
Whatever it is, you'd feel fairly confident that it's not a creature that you are personally familiar with, just from how kind of alien the construction of this nest is.
Can I look at that rock?
Yeah, you kind of get down on your hands and knees, look at the rock, and it seems to be sort of roughly shaped into a spherical shape, but it seems like it's well seated within the eye socket of this skull. Like you can't see a way to get it out without breaking the skull itself.
Is it like it's totally spherical, huh?
Like not completely, it's kind of a rough sphere, but it's it's a sphere set in there.
Definitely
Is
looks like
this-
man-made though.
Looks like it.
Is the skull still attached to the vertebrae? Like, can we just pick up the skull, or is it really big?
You could probably pick up the skull. It's it's a bit large, it's a bit unwieldy, but I'd say you could probably pick it up.
Yeah, instead of breaking that theory, why don't we just want to take the whole thing?
That might be a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably about the length of your torso.
Also, we can bury it for prayer XP.
Exactly. Gotta get 99.
No, she doesn't say that.
Yeah, it's dragon bones.
Exactly. Yeah, she's gonna try to pick it up.
Yeah, it's maybe a little bit tricky for Nia since Nia is she's kind of a shorty, but I think with Nia and Notrix together, they managed to pull it out of this mess of bones.
She kind of looks back at the baby and says,
Don't tell your mom we were here, okay? Thanks.
And I guess Notrix just does one more once over of the nest and sees like, is there anything the birds have carried back from other humans or people? Any other drink? Anything else that's not bone?
Hmm? I'll let you make an investigation check, Notrix.
I guess technically Nia already did the one, but yeah.
Yeah, you kind of peek through, try to push away some of the dead brush towards the bottom of the nest. And you do find one thing that's a little bit interesting. You find what looks like a very small rock pick, or almost like an archaeologist tool, almost like a what do they call them? It just came out in RuneScape.
Mac!
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like almost like a needle mattock that's towards the bottom, and as you pull it out, you realize just from the construction of it, it looks very modern. It doesn't have signs of rust, of decay that you'd expect to find on a tool, sort of at the bottom of the nest. It has a look of something that you could buy in a shop in Varrock right now.
And there's nothing particularly distinguishing about it. Just it's a mattock.
If you had to guess, it's probably of dwarven make.
Okay.
Wow.
I mostly just asked that so I could write something in my inventory that wasn't just mattock. I wanted an adjective for it.
Hmm.
You found that thing pretty deep in there, huh?
Yes, I imagine it's something the birds brought back.
Maybe that means that this nest wasn't made all too long ago, too.
Well, actually, I shouldn't say that.
Huh?
Notchix
Roll-
looks like it's about to say something, but he doesn't.
Well, in that case, let's go before you know who comes back. Looks at the baby.
Did roll 20 disconnect for you guys just now?
It did, but it appears to be back.
Oh,
it's good
there we
for
are.
me.
It just came back for me.
Ah.
So, Notrix, go ahead and move that compass rose to where you head off for the final part of your journey.
Okay. And I'm going to move there.
All right. As you continue moving, kind of trying to hug the mountains, you can see more clearly that it seems to extend to the north of you into more marshland. From here, at least, as far as you can see to the north, but that you might have a slightly easier time hugging the mountains as you are right now. As you settle down to make camp, Alcana, what are you doing as the day is waning to make camp for this party?
I think I might go for something a bit more flavorful than practical this time. I'm thinking that, yeah, it's been a long day. They've been in some fights. She's been exhausted. And she kind of just, well, some old memories go through her head. When she first ended up camping out in 4 and 3. On those trips, her initial training missions, fumbles at all. Remembering her and her now departed master setting up camp. It's a little bit of metaphorical warmth amidst the cold and exhaustion.
I like that.
And
To
I'm
me,
using this old doodle.
Oh, cute.
I feel like this, to me, sounds like you're drawing almost on your training, which I'd say falls into the purview of religion. So go ahead and make a religion check. So that's a +1, 10. That's actually for the terrain you're in just good enough. So you see as Alcana, even as exhausted as she is, tired, dragging herself, she seems to go through this rote, very familiar procedure to her, something that you can tell that she's done a million times before as she kind of, while speaking under her breath, various religious sacraments, setting up the aspects of this campsite. As you all gather in, prepare for a night's rest before the next day, let's go ahead and take a little break. First, why don't you go ahead and roll travel dice?
Okay.
No!
Oh dear.
Can I use Foresight to re-roll that?
I think foresight is explicitly for D20s.
Shit.
Oof.
This is not good.
Okay. 8 and 10. Sorry. Just figuring that out.
So, Alcana, you, with your exhaustion of the night before, you feel like to get yourself up to a place where you're capable of functioning, where you have all your wits about you, you have to dip deep into your supplies, and you find that, yeah, you are now at a D6 travel dice.
Day 6. Oh.
That's not good.
Doesn't feel good. No.
No, it does not.
But yeah, so everyone should roll hit dice, right?
Hit dice? Okay. Just go. Woo! That's all she needs. Or is it? No, it's not.
Oh yeah, a lot of you guys took a beating.
Yeah, they were hitting pretty hard today, or yesterday even.
Maybe
Heck,
not
down.
go into random holes so much anymore. Now that we know what's there.
Oh, yeah, it's worth a look.
Oh, what if one of them has a diamond in it though?
Yeah, what if?
That's what I'm saying.
You know that
Damn it! This isn't Minecraft.
there's creatures that eat metal. Maybe there's like solid gold turds back there, or something.
Yeah, you were just a few feet away from a whole cache of solid gold turds.
Damn our low rolls.
You know, it's nature's bling toilet.
That's 4 and 3 for you.
And I guess one of the things we do this morning is take a look at this dragon skull we carried with us, and its mysterious
yes.
stone thing.
Yeah, you look at it. It's actually maybe about 2/3 of a dragon skull that you have.
The
But
jaw
yeah,
stone.
it seems to have a stone, this roundish stone, stuck in one of the sockets. And as you examine it, kind of turn it over, you spot that when you kind of roll it around in its socket, you see on one end of it, invisible to you when you first picked it up, that is invisible, as in facing the opposite direction, there seems to be a small glass disc that's been embedded in it, almost like a pupil.
Huh.
So wait, so it's a stone. The whole thing's like a stone ball, and it has one part of it is a glass.
Like inlaid into it. It seems to be a small flat glass disc.
So it's flat on one side and round on the other.
Not flat on one side and round on the other. This is like it's much smaller, this glass disc that's been embedded into it than the stone itself. As I said, it's almost like a pupil.
So this dragon had a fake eye. Arcana, before we go touching this too much, can you do one of those detect magics you've been doing so much recently?
Very well.
Yeah, you take a moment, Alcana, and you pick up. There is definitely a magical signature on this false eye, particularly from that glassy pupil, but it does not match up to any of the established schools of magic.
Well, there is magic on, particularly on that disc, but it's not any school of magic we know.
Well, yes, here goes nothing. And I look into the eye, and maybe, I don't know.
You hold up the skull, you look into the eye, and you don't see anything. It just looks like a transparent glass disc, though it seems like the light doesn't quite refract through it, as if maybe it's kind of this glass is partially conditioned to reflect light from one direction a little differently than the other, as if it kind of just gets dark on the opposite end wherever it's embedded into the stone, but you don't like feel a force in your mind. You don't see anything.
That's a
I think
relief.
Don would ask Alcana, hey, do you think I can look at that thing with truth?
I was thinking the same thing. So yeah, look at it with truth.
You hold up truth and you look at it. You kind of have to squint because it's just a very small little circle of glass. But through truth, that little circle, it almost looks as if it is made out of wood or bark.
Wait a moment. And she would immediately rifle around for the candlestick that she knows did the same thing.
Oh, you've got the candlesticks?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure if you or Logie had them. But yeah, you pull out your candlesticks. You find the one that is, it looks like clear glass. You look at it through truth. And you think these could very well be the same material.
Well, isn't that an interesting coincidence? And she would kind of show it being the same for them both. Does it look like the same kind of wood?
It looks similar. You can't say exactly. One of these examples is so much smaller than the other. If anything, perhaps it looks a little bit. The one in the eye looks slightly rougher, a little bit more like bark.
Well, I guess we should attempt to get it out of there, shouldn't we?
Yes.
I wonder why this dragon had an eye like this.
Maybe it was using it in life. That's probably why it was wedged in the skull. Well, for what? I can't fathom that.
Oh, I guess someone gave it a prosthetic eye so it could. I guess it could see things that it could see things that you can't normally see.
That would seem to be the most natural conclusion you'd make.
Hey, Doug. Do you want a new eye?
Yeah. I don't know if I want that sort of eye. Ugh. Gross.
No. I guess not. Okay,
Oh no. You know what?
Hmm?
Do you want to try to wedge it out?
That's what it's gonna do, yeah?
Oh, okay, yeah, go on.
So how are you guys going to try to wedge this thing out?
Thinking that Alcana might... It can't provide a lot of force, but Alcana might use the mage hand to kind of provide something that's a bit more of like a... more reasoned, measured push.
You summon your mage hand, use it to try to push this ball, but quickly becomes apparent that it just spins it around in the socket. It seems like the opening of the socket, you're not even sure how this false eye was inserted because the opening of the socket is clearly too small to allow it to pass through.
Jeez.
I think
I
I have an idea. I don't know if this will work, but Notrix is a monk. So can Notrix try and karate chop the skull cleanly in half? I don't know. That's something people do in real life. So
Mia's gonna raise her eyebrows at this.
yeah, maybe Nia is the best person to do this, but Notrix is going to go ahead and do it anyway.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Make either an athletics or a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
You try to smash into it and you pull your hand away as you weren't looking, and you smash your hand right into one of the ridges of what was a socket for a tooth on its upper jaw. You take 1 point of damage.
Ow.
What are you doing, man?
I don't know. It's just that thing you hear in stories about. Well, when we're back in the East, they had stories about people cutting things in half with their hands. Cutting things in half with their hands, and I thought, maybe I could do that. No, I can't do that.
Alcana
I know
glances over at Nia.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
you
know
do a better
exactly what
job
you're
with that.
Or we could use a blade.
Or I could try to chop it.
Yeah, Nia, how
Good
about you try
idea.
and make it a clean cut there. So it's not don't shatter the whole thing.
Alright, she cracks her knuckles and she's gonna try to do the same thing.
All right. It's
Sleight of
same
hand?
thing, athletics or sleight of hand.
Keep in mind that she is very much a higher level monk than Notrix is.
Yes.
Yeah. She kind of focuses in and almost does like that crouching crane position with her hands sort of more in a pinched position, and then just boom, darts it forward, kind of shatters just a little chunk of the eye socket directly underneath, and pulls her hand back with that round eye encased within.
The trick is to aim at the sweet spot. See that?
She like points at it.
Oh yes, don't hit the completely wrong part of the skull like I did, I guess.
Yeah,
Well done.
don't hit the teeth.
And Notchix picks up the skull again, and I want to use mending to fix it, and put back the splinter that was cut out, if I can.
Huh. Is a skull count as an object?
It's not alive anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. All right. Yeah. You hold up those little fragments of bone and you manage to, over the course of the next minute, mend the skull back to, well, it was a partial skull to begin with, but mend it back to the state it was in.
Nia's gonna look at the eye. Is there anything different now that it's like out that we could see better? That we couldn't see before?
You roll it around in your hands, not that you can tell.
Alright. Well, it's good that we separated it.
Yes, a very interesting find. I hope its significance becomes a bit more clear as we continue on.
Yeah.
Well, we could. Well, I don't know if this is the best idea, but we could take out the lens. Well, I suppose we have. You say it's similar to the candlestick. We already have the
Yes, I'd
candlestick.
say. Yes, I'd say it's very close to, if not the same exact material.
So you think that the lens can't do, well, the lens and the candlestick, well, looking through both of them has the same effect probably. If it,
Most likely, from what I can tell right now.
well, maybe if one of us ever loses an eye, this might actually be a prosthetic eye. It might actually work.
I hope
like
none of
human-
us get to that point where we're that desperate.
Is it human size? Like, can it actually fit in like a person, or is it like
No,
bigger?
it's definitely larger than a human eyeball.
But we have the bag of molding, too.
Yeah.
True.
Hey, if one of us ever needs a new eye, we don't know.
Well, if we don't have anything else to discuss here, I'd say let's get going for the day.
Who wants to carry the eye?
Me.
This is Nia.
Okay, yes. And make sure you add it to the character sheet so you remember it's there.
Okay. What is this
Prosthetic.
called? Prosthetic?
Prosthetic dragon eye, I'd call it.
Yeah. There are a lot of weird things out in 4 and 3.
And Notrix, you're just carrying a piece of dragon skull as big as your torso?
I mean, it disappears later, but yeah.
Yeah. He somehow puts it somewhere.
Okay.
So, as you guys pack up your camp, look out towards the horizon, you can quickly tell, Notrix, with some help from Nia and her spyglass, that the travel is going to get a little bit more difficult from this point on. You can see that only about a mile on that this rocky mountainous terrain rises a little bit more sharply, and it descends a little bit more suddenly into the bogs. And so you're probably going to have a difficult time of traveling no matter where you go. It just depends whether you want to stick to the higher rocky mountains or if you want to venture around them through the bog.
I guess.
Well, we're familiar with both kinds of terrain from our past experience.
Yeah. I was almost thinking maybe we should walk directly between the two, on the border of both. Might be the best combination of flat and non-buggy.
From what you can see, from what you and Nia can see, it seems like at least for the time being, that where the mountains rise up out of the bog, that it rises up rather sharply. That you'd probably to walk at the edge of the mountains is to walk along the edge of the cliff, which seems to uh, descend right into sort of the edge of this murky bog water. Or you can walk just atop that ridge, which will involve kind of navigating the rocky crags. In other words, you can't escape the difficult terrain at this point.
No.
In that case, we might want to move slowly.
Well, we'll already be moving more slowly because of the difficult terrain.
Yeah.
I'm doing the ridge, I think. How about the ridge? Yeah.
All right, so go ahead, Notrix, and roll another guide check. Yeah, easily enough, you find a somewhat level path, though there's still plenty of interruptions to scramble over rocks to make your way across this ridge. And you see quickly, you can go ahead and move the compass rose, that the swamp starts to extend out from below you. You can even get a slightly better vantage point up here, and you can see through that bog mist that rises up what seems to be kind of the intermittent pockets of marsh give way to a far larger lake beyond this spot. You travel the first few hours of the day. You're going at a medium pace, I assume.
I don't see any other reason to choose otherwise.
Yeah.
All right, Notrix, go ahead and roll another guide check.
Critical guide.
Very lovely. Oh, is that critical? Oh, yeah, it is.
Not great. For
Wow.
some reason.
Because that's critical, I'm going to say roll another 2d6.
Okay.
And I'll take the better of the two. Ooh. Hold on, I got to roll a dice. Uh-oh, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, all right. For a second, all my sound went out. Go ahead and move that compass rose, Notrix.
Sure. I guess we go up here. Maybe we get close to the edge of the lake. I don't know.
Well, actually, as you keep trying to wend the way that's most navigable through on the west edge of this mountain ridge, see the bog stretch out before you. The elevation rises and rises until you can feel at this elevation, kind of the wind whipping around you, can feel that you have to take things a little bit more slowly, feel your way along these ridges. At some points, even have to briefly get on hands and knees. But as you reach what seems to be one of the peaks here in the middle of this ridge, you spot something. You spot a series of pillars right near the apex of this ridge. They are broken. They are clearly have deep signs of weathering, but they look as if they're laid out in a sort of an irregular square configuration, as if they once propped up some kind of a structure.
Hmm.
The
What
heck
do
is
you
that?
see?
I see. Looks like some sort of ruined structure. There's some supporting pillars which might have once held up a roof, I guess.
Well, now that seems a little bit interesting.
Indeed.
How far away does it look?
It looks like you could probably. It's only a little bit off of the path that you were taking. You could probably scramble up to it without too much incident.
Yeah, let's look at it.
So, as you make your way over the rocks, closer to these pillars, you can see that there are some larger broken chunks of what seem to be sandstone among them, which is a little bit interesting because, as far as you've been able to tell, there's not a lot of sandstone in this area. These mountains seem to be kind of heavy granite, and there's a lot of marshland and empty plains. So it must have been imported from somewhere. The pillars themselves, heavily weathered and pitted, but you do see that a couple of them seem to have lintels hanging over them. Uh, some of them look like they might have writing.
Have a look at the
Done.
writing.
All right. Let's see. What languages does everyone speak?
Alcana has Common, Icenic, and Ushanko.
Uh,
And even if we don't have it, I got comprehend languages.
Dawn has Ushanko, Thieves Can't, Old Zenarian, and Druidic. And Common.
Patrick says Druidic, Common, Druidic, Dwarvish, Infernal, and Wushanka.
Oh, very nice. Dawn, why don't you go ahead and roll an investigation check for me?
Ooh. Damn it! No! Can I re-roll it with Foresight?
Sure.
How much is that again?
It's 2 foresight to do a reroll.
I want this to be good. Damn it! Okay, it's better than a 3. Yeah.
You can spend another foresight to add +3 to that if you wish.
+3! Another Foresight. There we go.
Maybe you should
Really-
start casting guidance on yourself.
Really
That's a
burning
good
them up.
Plan.
So, Dawn, as you are looking around this, most of these pillars are extremely weathered. Though you find one that it's actually, there seems to be a low stone wall preserved between two of them, and there's a lot of writing on it. Most of it you can't understand, but at the bottom, there is a passage in Old Zenarian. And this passage, bits of it have been worn away, aren't readable, but from what you can tell, there are multiple references to crystal spheres. And it mentions this place being shaped, being cleansed, being brought back to its proper place. And atop it, at the top of all of this writing, is a symbol that looks like this. Can you see that, or is that too thin?
I see it.
It's just about visible.
Yeah. Do I recognize the symbol?
Anyone who wants to can make a religion check. But yeah, Notrix, you saw this symbol briefly not too long ago when you and Logi went into the Interfaith temple
Indeed.
in Ardoin. You recognize it as the symbol of Karheim. It was there among the their antecedent to the shrine of Corvith.
Oh.
Hmm.
I think Don. Well, how old does this writing look? Like how weathered is it? Like that definitely doesn't look recent, does it?
No, not at all. It looks like it's, been here for centuries and centuries.
Whoa. This is a Zenarian.
That's
Really?
odd.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It says something about crystal spheres and how this place was restored to its former glory.
Crystal spheres. That seems to be a turn of phrase coming up a fair amount.
Although we're not sure what it means. perhaps this has something to do with. Actually, I don't know if I know that in character. Never mind.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Ah.
Let's leave the half formed thought.
Could do an insight check to see if you know in character.
I just can't remember. I think only Logie heard this stuff from someone, but I can't remember where it was from or what. No, it's a memory I don't properly have.
Oh, okay.
But I'll kind of. How about well, if Donna can only read the last section, maybe it is worthwhile doing your comprehend languages.
Yep. Let's read the rest of it.
All right. Kana, as you cast this, these other fragmentary letters start to almost go out of focus for you before reassembling into a semblance that you can comprehend and you can see. It actually seems, for what you can tell, mentions some of the parts that Don mentioned in the part below, almost as if it's a translation. Well, this one seems a little bit more complete. It's still missing big chunks, but it mentions a garden feared by the gods, a garden that could rightfully be given back to the shaper of spheres, and a garden that that those of this world, divine or mortal, have no right to make claim over.
And she would probably be muttering all of this out loud for everyone else to hear as she was transcribing it.
Huh. Then I wonder who claimed this place, or who wrote this.
Does any of this sound familiar to any of you?
Obviously, there's the garden, but there is one thing. I think I
What's
remember it a
that?
bit better now. Back in during that, I learned that apparently the god Corvus was related to a god called the Shaper of Spheres.
Interesting.
Is that the god that the raven worships, or the raven's son?
It was the Raven's son who told me that, actually.
Right.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it seems that we've got a far more ancient source saying the same thing, so perhaps there's some credibility to that.
And Corvus was also related to Karhan.
Well, it seems that they have another place where those are occurring together. I wonder. Crystal spheres. Can't help but swear I saw something like that in a dream, but...
How many pillars are there, by the way?
You count, some of them are collapsed, some of them are still standing. It looks like from sort of the blank dolmens or the spots between them that originally there were maybe around 24.
Okay. Not 5.
Is there any, I guess, structure to this building which might hint at its original purpose?
Roll an investigation check. I mean, you look around, you can see, big chunks of flat sandstone that have fallen, broken pillars, but it's difficult to tell anything beyond that. Whatever structure there was, that most of it has fallen down, collapsed by now.
There's not like an altar anywhere which might mark it as a place of worship or something.
I'd say, just from context clues, without even needing to roll, could put together that worship was probably one of the activities that happened here. It has sort of the vague layout of what you think is a temple. You're not sure if that's its primary use or if this was just an ancillary structure to a larger complex or what, but there was at least some use of the spaces for worship.
Can Nia try to write down everything that's on the pillar?
Sure,
On the
yeah.
lintel?
Nia and Alcana working together transcribe all of this, all of these pieces from this fragmentary passage.
And she would also like write down them the original language just so like they could keep track of what languages they were. Like maybe there's an English
Oh yeah,
translation.
just writing
Then,
down the letters.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
this
kind of
one
trying
that's
to
in the language
do
you
shapes
can't.
and stuff.
Yeah, the one in the language you can't describe. It's definitely letters unlike any other writing system that you know.
Oh, it's a Rosetta Stone of sort.
Yeah, so she's like, using her artiste skills to like try to keep the letters like as close to how they originally were as possible.
Yeah, I dig it. Alcana, are you looking for anything in particular?
Honestly, I think she'd probably put her focus on trying to find more symbols and writings around here that might give more clues as to its original purpose.
All right, roll an investigation check, Alcana. You look around. Seems like most of these pillars and fragments of wall are extremely well weathered, that most of the inscriptions that would give you any guide have long been deteriorated, that this one is only gave you as much as it did because it was sort of uh, built in such a way as to be protected from the wind and the elements. Though you do find, clearing away a piece of debris, a couple of large pieces of debris, that there is a bit of like central stone tiling that you stare at for a second before it hits you, that it's some kind of a crude map, but the way that it's put together it seems to like have units of measure on it, almost like longitude and latitude, that does not follow any of the conventions of the modern world. You can't really make heads or tails of what this map is actually showing the way to.
Nia, I can't tell exactly what it's pointing to, but I think there's some kind of a map here. Do you think you could draw that down to reference later?
Oh, let me see.
And yeah, she would like squint at it and try her best to copy it.
All right. I'm not sure if this is a painter's tools or if this is an insight check.
I do imagine she's kind of right braining it, you know what I mean? So maybe it'll be painter's tools.
All right. Roll that then and add a +1 to whatever the final is.
Wait.
It's over there in
This
our
is
tool proficiencies, it should be.
Yeah. Do I do intelligence or charisma or wisdom?
Let's say intelligence or wisdom.
Oh, they're both the same. Boop.
So
Yeah.
total of 16. As you pour over it, try to put together what it can mean. It seems like there are a couple of spots that it seems to be indicating that seem to be somehow more important. And one of them you're able to put together pretty quickly is actually the same spot that you're heading towards, is that the spot that is marked on some maps as a volcano that has been referred to as a crater. You're not sure what, but that seems to be one of the most heavily marked spots on there. I'll also put together that there is another place, and you're trying to kind of glean what it could be. all you can tell is that it's somewhere in the far north that seems to be of very high importance to whatever is going on here. And I'm going to do a little funny box.
A funny box.
That's a funny box.
That you put together that it is somewhere in this vague region. There's something that is important to this particular spot, someplace that's marked as a location of significance.
Huh.
Or wait, did
Interesting.
I? Wait, I put us back on the hex map, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
We can
So
see
you
it.
only do the 3 sides of the box.
We see your funny box. Yes.
Yeah, that's what makes it so funny.
It only has 3 sides.
But is it
Good
technically a
fight.
box?
Good find, Nia.
Yeah, really. Check that out. Maybe we should take a trip over there at some point.
Oh, that's probably easier than going across an ocean.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on the place we're already going to.
Yes,
Sure.
it's already taken us quite a while to get here. Getting it up there is going to take even longer. Although we have
Oh,
been
yeah.
going on quite a few detours.
Yes, let's try to keep those detours to a minimum.
Yes, our big S-shaped path here.
So, as you guys come to the end of your exploration of this temple, finding little else that can give you clues, you continue back down onto the more level part here towards the top of the ridge. So, Notrix, where are you moving that compass this time?
I guess. Well, I'm moving it here, I guess. Still going
So,
towards...
into the swamps?
Yeah, I think so.
Mia would probably also use her spyglass to try to reveal some of this area.
Okay, go ahead and, yeah, roll a perception check +1 for Nia.
Perception. Plus 119.
Ooh, 18. Let me double check what the DC is. Oh, yeah, that's high enough. As you start to make your way further into the swamp, and Notrix, roll a guide check.
Almost.
Yeah, as Nia sort of puts up this her spyglass to her eye, you make sure that nothing super interesting is revealed. But yeah, you can spot how that there is more mountainous territory directly to the north of you as these swamps sort of scramble down these scarps into the swampy area. And here, it's not quite the same type of swamp as it was before, where there were more lowlands that had accumulated this fetid water. It seems like this is more an ongoing marsh with these uneven pockets of piled decaying brush or kind of silt banks. But there's to keep going through this area, there's a little bit of wading involved. Wading as in actual wading through this murky water as one of you lights up a torch to see your way through this low bog mist that comes through. You come to what feels like the end of a day of traveling. You look trying to find a silt bank where you can set up camp. Okana, since you're in charge of camp, what do you do to try to find a place where you guys can rest?
Let's see. I'm thinking that she might try and draw upon some mixture of memories of being out in the marshes of Mauritania, and of course some of her survival training from the Shieldsworn to maybe pick up like traces on the land that might seem to be a bit more firm and sturdy than others. Maybe even doing the old temple trekking trick of finding a stick and poking stuff.
I like that. So I'd say that's either survival, perception, or investigation.
Wow, that was awful. I think I might want to re-roll that.
Oh, okay. Sure, you can re-roll that. 2 foresight.
Woo!
Oh, very nice.
Foresight well spent.
Yeah, as you see, Alcana sort of snaps off one of these dead twigs from one of these trees that grasp over this smoke-choked, mist-choked swamp. She kind of pulls forward and actually starts to lead you through a way that it seems kind of a Byzantine path she's taking as she's poking for the high ground beneath the water that you're wading through knee deep until you actually find this spot that you hadn't spotted before, even with your spyglass, Nia. This rare rocky outcropping in the swamp. You get up here, you're able to get very dry, get to a space where you feel like you're very well shielded from any of the elements, and you're able to make your camp. Now, do you guys do anything before you take your rest for the evening?
Don is prepared to like stay up all night now that they're back in the swamp. Don't want to repeat it last time. He is like not blinking. He's so up. That is all.
I guess, I don't know, maybe Notch looks around for any interesting looking herbs or wild plants. I don't know what that
Sure.
is, but
Yeah, I'll allow that. Make Notrix either a survival or a nature check. Oh, all right. Uh, roll a d100 for me.
okay. Oh, wow.
And roll a d100 again.
Wait, what?
Okay, roll it a third time.
What?
All right. There we are. Um, as you just kind of go poking around while Kana's busy setting up most of the main parts of the camp, you find a rare cluster of herbs that seem to be growing within this sort of hollowed out, rotted stump. You pick them, you sort of clean them off as best as you can, and you find that you have a very robust bundle of what seem to be pteromin leaves. It's you think it's quite rare to to think that you'd find this out here of all places growing in the swamp, but it must have been just the perfect condition. So you have a very large pile of pteromin leaves.
Is that the official quantity? Very large.
Um, well, I did not expect you to roll above a 93 twice, so I don't really have a mechanic for that. So I'm just ruling that it's a whole shitload of them.
How did I roll? How did I roll a 95 twice? That's kind of crazy. That's the exact
What are the
same
odds?
number.
Yeah, I know. You keep seeing this in little bits and in glimpses, but my loot table is surprisingly complex.
Oh, I have to roll on it as much as possible, really.
I know there are a lot of opportunities.
Alcana isn't doing anything really special this evening aside from setting up camp.
All right, guys, set up your camp here on this outcropping in the swamp. A much less active day than you had the day before. Everyone, as you settle down, go ahead and roll your travel dice. And because Alcana got a natural 20 on this, the threshold for failure on this is lower. It's only a 1 where your travel dice will go down.
I am glad I spent that foresight.
Yeah, it's good. Those would have been travel dice going down if Alcana hadn't spent that foresight.
Okay.
So, as
How'd
you
I get
guys
so?
bed down, dawn, you spend the night watching out over these plains. Nothing approaches your campsite, and eventually the murk of night turns to the gray of morning. And while your clothes feel a bit clammy, some of the mist has soaked through. It's not enough to really impair with your ability to function this day as you all rouse. Prepare for another day of travel.
Quick question. What can I do with Tarmin leaves? Do I have that knowledge?
I I think you'd probably have some of that knowledge.
Yeah. I found all these herbs. Do I know what they're good for?
Yeah, I think Notrix, you're an experienced druid, you're an experienced herbalist. You know that you can make some useful things with that. I think, yeah, you'd know that with the proper reagents, you could use this to temporarily, at least, increase if you find the right stuff to use with it. Temporarily increase your acuity with magic or with strength.
Yeah. I guess we need to find some reagents.
I mean, do you want to take an hour or two before you guys get started to try to see if you can craft a potion with this?
Uh, sure. I mean, this is
Do it.
entirely
Do it.
unexpected what's happening, but yeah, it sounds interesting.
So, Notrix, you look in your bag, look at the things that you have among your herbalism supplies, as well as what you might find out here in the swamp. Go ahead and roll your herbalism check.
I guess with wisdom as the
Yeah, yeah, wisdom or intelligence. You start to work on this, put it together, and as you are able to pull mostly from items that you already have in your herbalism kit, working with some of these leaves, you are able to brew over the course of the next hour or two one potion. As you hold it up to the light, what light there is, you squint at it, you feel fairly confident that if you were to imbibe this, that for probably 10 minutes, your magic abilities would be increased somehow. So go ahead and mark off that you have a magic potion in your inventory.
Woo!
cool. That's
Nice.
exciting.
So if you take that for 10 minutes, you will gain a +1 to your spell attacks and a +1 to your spell saving DC.
Ooh. And does that just use a little bit of my massive pile of Taramins, I guess? Or does that use a lot of it?
With a 15, I'm going to say that it used maybe around a third of it to get it right.
Okay.
What you got there?
Well, it's been a while since I've done some herbal for myself. Usually I just do it for other people. But I think I've made a magic potion.
Oh well, that certainly seems useful if we get in any particularly bad scuffles here.
Yeah.
With that, we should probably get started. We are not going to go as fast as we normally would across this terrain anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, I held everyone up, and I just felt like making some potions this morning.
I I suppose a little extra meditation time couldn't hurt, especially when we're getting closer to our first point of interest here. I'm both
So, oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm both curious and nervous about it.
No, we don't know if we're even going to get through these mountains yet. They might completely block us off. Have to see.
Yes, let's just do what we can.
So, Nautrix, as you stand atop this rock, try to get a sense for where you're going. Go ahead and roll a guide check. All right, and where are you moving that compass rose?
I guess going east.
All right. So, as you start heading east, it actually, could I have Nia make a perception check for me?
Yes, here we go.
So that's a total of 15. Um, sorry.
Menacing dice rolls, IRL.
You continue marching through the swamp, uh, approaching closer and closer to the edge of the northern Rocky Mountains. When you hear somewhere off to the west of you, a couple of what seem like hurried footsteps, but sound like, I think, with your collective perception putting together, sound like two-legged creatures of some sort, probably humanoids. Though with the mist settling low at this point, you're losing some visibility of them. But you hear them kind of smash through, and then you hear uh, more footsteps, or rather splashing behind them, and you hear ah, ah, ah. And then those two first sets of footsteps that you heard are silent, and you hear a splash in the water.
Guys, guys, do you hear that?
Yes,
Seems
it sounded a bit concerning.
like someone's in trouble.
Possibly.
Perhaps dead.
Or perhaps the trouble already happened.
Sounds like
Yeah.
they're getting attacked.
What?
Should we
Let's-
investigate?
Yeah, let's head towards that direction. John, how about you go? You go ahead, just slightly invisible, and we'll trail along behind. Report back when you see
Sure.
what it is.
All right.
And Don goes invisible. And he's gonna fly forward very slightly. He's just gonna try his best to take a peek at what's happening over there.
All right, Don, make a stealth check with advantage.
Woo! Oh yeah! Natural
All
20.
right, I'm finding the right music to play.
Woo.
Oh, dang, natural 20. Very
Yeah.
nice. So, Dawn, you kind of flit higher above this mist, and then you see it start to break a little bit. You feel fairly confident that you are not seen at all. And what you spot are a couple more of these stout bird people kind of marching through the swamp. Actually, about four of them, and they have these lassos that they're using to drag a couple of other figures that are almost sort of half floating in the water behind them. It seems like the water here is actually fairly shallow, not enough for these other figures, even though they're being dragged to drown. So you look at the figures, these two other figures. At first, you think they're dwarves, but then you squint, get a closer look, maybe even flutter down a bit. You realize these are not like any dwarves you've seen. You know that Logi has a rather unusual appearance. and maybe superficially these appear a little bit like him. As you get closer, you see that whereas Loki's skin is sort of a charcoal gray, these ones have skin that literally looks like cracked blackened charcoal, while Loki has this vibrant, almost flaming red hair. These ones have these protrusions from their skin of this bright red, almost rocky substance. It looks as if you're not sure if it's some kind of a heavy bone protrusion or what sticking through. These are very strange looking dwarves to you, and it seems like they have been caught, both of them apparently unconscious, by these bird folk. As you follow them a little further, you see that there is a small camp set up on an embankment with a few more of these bird folk.
Huh. Weird. Alright, Don's gonna fly back, and once he gets back, he's gonna say, I saw more of those bird people, and they caught these dwarves, but these dwarves, they kind of look like Loki.
Huh?
You know how Loki has that charcoal skin? But it's even weirder. I mean, they have these almost like horn-looking things that are like kind of the same color as his hair, but almost more vibrant, you know? It's weird. Maybe we should...
That sounds extremely strange. And they were dragging them back to camp for whatever reason?
Yeah. Should we go help them?
Uh,
I'm a little curious about them.
How many bird people were there? Like,
How many were
combined
there?
at the camp and marching.
Total looked like maybe about 8 of them.
There's about 8 of them. But I think we can kick their asses. their tails.
do you remember the last encounters we've had with them? We
Well-
might want to not get too cocky.
Yes, we've never fought 8 of them at once. That's a substantial amount of them.
Oh yeah, now that I think about it. The last time we fought... Well, okay, I didn't see a cannon, so... Did Don see a cannon?
No.
Okay, well... I didn't see a cannon. They're at a camp. They might not, expect it. I'm just saying.
Well, it's not.
It's a...
I don't know why you bring up cannons, but it's more the crossbows I'm worried about.
Oh, did I see crossbows? I'm sorry, I thought it was a cannon for a second.
A few of them at least had arms that you could see.
So, like, were they the big crossbows? Like the one that, like, really... Like, hits, like, that 40, like, the big boy is...
A couple seem to have crossbows. A couple seem to have small, like, bastard swords clipped to their belt. I don't think you spotted one with a really big, heavy crossbow that I think you were, not there long enough to make a full assessment.
Well, all I'm saying is that these dwarves might know where the Great Forge is.
I guess so.
Maybe if we could get close enough, we could try speaking into their minds.
That never works. Werson's tried that so many times now.
Yes, well, Nia and I are not worsened.
And birds are stupid.
I was thinking about the dwarves, not the birds.
Oh.
In the past, when we fought these birds, wolves seem to do quite well against them.
Yeah,
So-
I got an idea. Yeah, let's make a distraction. While a few of us save the dwarves.
Yes, I think 16 wolves might be a bit of a distraction.
I think that's perfect. I wonder if they have teeth.
Birds don't usually have teeth.
Dang.
I'm not
That's
druid,
it.
but I know birds have beaks.
Guess that's like one big tooth, but yeah, either way. Wanna go? Yeah, I'm down.
Well, we might observe for a little while and see what what the situation is a little bit more, like where they're putting the dwarves or what they're doing in general.
Yes, it would be unwise to go in without seeing exactly what they're doing first.
So, John, how about you go observe for a while longer while you're still invisible?
Okie doke. Oh yeah, I forgot I was invisible. But either way, cool. I go back.
All right. I'll draw a vague shape to be the shape of this outcropping where they've gathered, and going and looking, you can see that there's kind of a vague campfire and campsite towards the center of this place. Actually, Don, go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception check. Nice.
Oh, 22. Very nice. So, as far as you can tell, there's this campfire here where they've mainly set up. You see that there are, they don't really seem to have tents, but you can see that there are a few, like, almost matted collections of these dead reeds and things that seem to be where they bed down as best they can see that there is actually, now that you're looking for it, one of these hooded figures that does have a seemingly nicer looking weapons. It seems to be a leader of them. And you can see off to the side, there are a couple of, actually, yeah, up here off to the side, there are a couple of these hooded figures that are going through some bags that seem very rather well made saddlebags that have some weapons beside them that also look like they're in better condition than the sort of bastard swords and rickety crossbows that most of them are holding. Um, and as they're going through them, kind of peeking through, you catch sight of something interesting. You catch one of them pull this smoky brown colored glass pear out of one of these bags before sticking it back in.
Is it the same pair that Dawn knows about?
Yeah, it sure is.
Ah, yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah, and these two weird dwarves are kind of not exactly unconscious, but dazed and kind of their wrists bound here towards the center of the camp.
Definitely gotta save these guys. Alright. Can Dawn, take a look around the camp? Like, see if there's any, like, trees around that are very loose. Anything that could, like, kind of cause... I won't do anything right now. He's just, like, kind of scouting ahead for the future. Or, like, is there anything that could cause a distraction?
I mean, there are various trees, various brush around. Why don't I put a few trees on this map here?
Yeah. Or you know what? Now that I think about it, I mean, there are the wolves that Natrix is gonna summon.
You can summon wolves as well.
Yeah, true. Okay.
So you can see that there are nearby this camp, sort of on its banks, two of these dead trees, and then another one nearby, kind of in the growing out of the shallow, murky water.
All right.
Yeah, this pair towards the north side of this camp. You see that they're darting their heads around as they're looking at them and kind of like dipping them down in one fast motion, rummaging through a little bit more, putting them back up, sort of putting them to the side again, then dipping them back down, digging around a little more. They seem to be putting these pairs, and there are a few of them, aside.
Ooh, few of them, huh? Ooh, Donna really wants to snatch one. But okay, he won't. Self-control. Don, self-control. He's gonna fly back. He's gonna say to everyone, "Hey, they have those pears. You know what I mean? Like the those glass pear-shaped things from back in Ardoin.
Really? Well, I
Yeah.
guess that's not entirely unexpected, I suppose. I mean, this is where the pears came from, I guess.
True. Well, hey, let's why don't you summon those wolves and hopefully that'll, make them run away or something.
Well, I've just been privately thinking about the morality of setting a whole bunch of wolves on some unsuspecting bird people.
Ah, the birds, they deserve it.
Oh, I guess. I guess they kind of bandit like people.
I mean, those dwarves don't exactly look like they were carried here with their consent.
Yeah, think of those poor, strangely horned dwarves.
Oh, I guess that's morally acceptable. Okay. Well, Don, how
Besides,
about we?
just make your.
What were you
No, I
gonna
was
say?
just gonna say, make your wolves nice and scary, so hopefully they, run away before they try to attack.
Well, I think we need. You should make some wolves as well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. So
You
how
said that there
many?
were some trees. Maybe I can try shooting one of them over to cause a bit of a ruckus.
well, I
That'd be a
think
good
we should
idea.
just squat up behind some cover in the swamp back here, and just send 16 wolves in, and
That is quite a lot of wolves.
that is quite a lot of wolves.
But hey, it's enough, right?
Yeah, and if they all die, we can send another wave of 16 wolves in. Repeat at least three times.
I like the way you think.
Lord Almighty.
This is proper druid combat here.
All right, can I
We've
summon
had
16 dwarves?
crazier plans.
How would you say, Don?
Can I summon 16
Well,
wolves?
we can both summon 8, I mean. That's
8
the
at
idea.
the same. Okay, yeah.
And how many
Okay, that
level
makes
3 spell
sense.
slots do you have?
2. So
Okay, so we have 5 sets of 8 wolves. So we
perfect.
have 40 wolves in reserve.
Why didn't we do this before? I love this idea.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. I'm so excited. I hate birds.
I just feel kind of sorry just sticking a stupid amount of wolves on these guys. But, oh well. So I guess we get closer, me and
Yeah,
Don.
maybe like around here or something.
Or
you know?
maybe not even that close, I think. Just try and go off in the
Oh,
swamp
true.
a little. And then we each summon 8 wolves and send them in. With instructions. Well, what instructions do we give them? That's important.
Well, don't kill the dwarves, and
Yeah.
if you see a bird person, eat them.
Lord Almighty! I think you're coming out a bit strong there. Can't you just try and intimidate them first?
All right, fine. All right. If you see a bird person, try to scare them, but if they try to put up a fight, then you can eat them.
Sure. Try to
All right,
intimidate them
everybody.
into running off. If that doesn't work, try to eat them or something.
Show them why they should have ran away. You know what I mean?
Suppose that's a threat with a bit more literal teeth behind it.
Nah, I mean, birds don't have teeth.
The wolves do.
That's why I trust wolves more than birds.
So, Notrix and Dawn, you are sneaking up close to the camp before you cast these wolves.
Like, kind of close.
Yeah.
I got too close, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Notrix, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Oh boy.
Hey.
You manage to kind of very carefully tiptoe your way through this maybe thigh-deep water and both crouch behind this dead tree, fairly confident that they are unaware of your presence.
And they're like standing on like land, right?
Yeah, this kind of funny shape in the center. This is like raised land, and around it is more, like ankle to thigh deep marsh.
Don looks at Natrix. You ready?
Yes. I'll summon some wolves over here. You can summon some wolves over there.
Got it.
All right, so you're summoning wolves on either side of this?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Suddenly, just wolves rise from the water.
Oh, this is pretty ridiculous. But,
This is great.
Oh boy!
Look at him go.
wolves!
Wolves.
So many freaking wolves!
God, I'm happy. Oh, man.
All right. So, I don't think a wolf intimidates people with its charisma, but Notrix, what do you think a wolf needs to roll to intimidate people?
Ah.
I mind if I help here?
Yeah, what's your suggestion?
Well, actually, I've learned from watching videos on YouTube that using intimidation is actually a key part of the wolf tactic to be able to take down enemies as a team. So that would probably be a wisdom roll.
Ooh.
Thank you, Tirzu!
Okay.
All right. Oh wait, Notrix, I forget. Can you control? Do you have access to the sheet, or should I roll for the wolf?
I do have access to the sheet here, actually, yeah.
Okay, then go ahead and roll. Either a strength or a wisdom check with advantage for your wolves.
I do not have a wolf sheep.
We can have Notrix roll for you.
Get him.
That's wisdom.
Yeah, and let's roll that again for this time Dawn's wolves. Just for fun, we'll divide it up.
My wolves don't do as good as his wolves.
Right.
So you see that suddenly, as these wolves appear in the mark on either side, sort of snarling, rushing towards them, you see that these ones to the west side of the island, a couple of them seem to kind of take heed, but kind of close in front of these weird dwarves and stand their ground, pulling out their crossbows. While these ones to this side, they turn, they see these wolves, and they just start dashing, start running. You see their arms kind of half flapping to the side of them. They clearly can't fly, but they are sort of dashing off. They clearly look frightened. But this one over here looks like this one seems a little bit less fazed by it. It looks towards these wolves, and you see it kind of puff up its chest and give out a loud this roar that seems to rumble the entire swamp. I would like you to make a wisdom check for these wolves with advantage.
Okay.
As it lets out this roar, you see that one of these wolves rushes forward, but the rest of these, they kind of stop halfway in the swamp, and a few of them, you kind of hear these whimpers, these Meanwhile, these wolves to the other side are rushing up towards these two up here. They both, let's see, do they get one attack or two attacks? One attack.
With advantage.
They both are aiming their crossbows at these wolves that are coming up on them. One of them manages to hit this wolf, and you see one of these wolves go down and disappear into a cloud of smoke as it's dissipated. But these other ones manage to close the distance And I guess I'll make 7 wolf attacks.
With advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, that's right, with advantage.
Why?
That's why
This is absolute insanity.
they have pack tactics.
Yeah.
So that's what makes them so ridiculous. Or one of the things that makes them so ridiculous.
This is amazing.
So,
Get him.
wow, all right, let me check their AC of these guys. It's not super high, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those hit. Instead of adding those all up, I'm just going to use the average hit, so that's 35 hit points worth of damage. As they descend on one of these hooded figures, you see there's a flurry of feathers and fur and teeth as one of these is just ripped apart right in front of you. It's just dead, man. It's just dead. And another
Dawn is
one,
like-
they leap on top of him, knocking this poor figure to the ground. He's still hanging on, but he's not looking good. Meanwhile, this wolf over here, this one with the sort of the courage of a million suns, tries to attack this this figure who seems to be the leader right here. Manages to sink his teeth into him. But this leader is still not completely cowed, and you see these two over here turning around, seeming to take notice of what's happening here for the first time. So I want you guys to tell me what else is going on.
Well.
I mean,
You know what? While I'm trying to think of we should probably try to help out a little bit. What if Dawn cast Gust of Wind on these guys? Try to
is
push them
Gust of Wind
out into the
concentration?
swamp. I think so. Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, these wolves are a concentration spell.
Okay, so I don't want to do anything that'll break my concentration.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many wolves around. Do you think it's possible that we could try to sneak in there, grab the dwarves, and come out?
Maybe not this round. Maybe in the future.
Okay.
round.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
There is one bird person standing right next to them still.
Yeah.
So what are these 3 in the top right doing currently? Are they?
Oh, those ones, they look like they're just running away.
Oh,
They-
there's only
they look like they're
okay,
going
so it's only these
continuing
these two
running
left,
away.
really.
Yeah, they look like they're still just, making space, making distance.
Okay. Well, this might be funny actually. Should I do this? It's not concentration.
Do it.
I am going to cast blindness, deafness on this leader guy here to try and make him blind.
All right, that is a what saving throw is that again?
Constitution.
Constitution. That's a big failure.
So yeah, his vision clouds over and he's suddenly unable to see.
Yeah, you watch as he kind of rears back, sort of stepping backwards. He's got this crossbow in front of him, but just sort of aiming it at the air, not being sure what's happening.
And I guess that does have a vocal component, although I don't know if you'd better hear Nodric say that over the howling of wolves.
Yeah,
There's just so many
they've
wolves.
got a lot to think about right now. Dawn, are you doing anything?
I'm gonna hold my turn for now.
All right. Let's see. This lead ambusher. What is he going to do? He is going to he just disengages from this wolf and kind of backs up. I think not realizing that there are more wolves behind him. And he kind of crashes into something, and you see him pulling out a dagger from his belt, just swinging wildly towards whatever it is that he backed into, and that is high enough to hit the wolf. So let me see.
you want me to make the cons save?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, and you see this wolf that it is backed into as he flips around. This one just go down, kind of just lay down on the ground. Meanwhile, these other wolves, let me make I'll make another wisdom saving throw for them to see if they're still scared.
Do they get any bonus for seeing the enemy just suddenly reel back in fright?
I mean, they have advantage on it, but they still, it's more of an auditory thing, the roar of this big beast, than realizing exactly what this person is. So most of these wolves still seem like they are pretty terrified. However, this one, not willing to be cowed, rushes up towards this guy and has advantage on this attack. And yeah, just
Nice!
sinks its teeth into him, and you hear kind of a.
I think he wouldn't have advantages because the wolf next to him is incapacitated, but it would have been a 20.
Oh yeah, but this guy is blinded, so.
Oh, true, yes. There's so
he
many
has
different
advantage
ways.
from that.
And he might
Yeah.
throw.
Meanwhile, I'm not even gonna roll for these wolves. Actually, oh no, I should, because then I'll see how many of them hit, and they might attack someone else if they get extra. So let me roll. Let's see. That one's incapacitated, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more bite. Oh, those should have advantage. Let me do that again.
Holy shit! Wolves are OP!
All right. So, of those 6, let's see, 4 of them hit. Wow. All right.
Fucking love it. Yes.
You see that, yeah, this one who's still standing guard over these weird dwarves is just, boom. He is gone. He is donezo. And as they kind of leap over the body of this other one, you see that several of them leap at this one who seems to have taken notice and is turning away from these bags of pears, and they just tear him down completely, while a couple of them start to gather around the leader, and one of them sinks his teeth into the leader. The leader seems to be made of slightly tougher stuff, but still, these guys are getting eviscerated.
This is incredible!
And this guy, one of these ambushers, you see him kind of, that Blackbeak Turk, back, forth. He pulls out something from his black cloak and tosses it right into the center of where all of these wolves are. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me go ahead and make 5 dexterity saves.
One passed.
So 3 of them pass. Yeah, you see that there is suddenly this burst of frost, and suddenly one of these wolves is just poofs into smoke from this. These other ones, several of them now look much tougher as this frost, like, just ball of ice explodes. Their fur is caked into these little icicles. They look like they're shivering, like they're slowed. A few of them look like they've weathered it better, but yeah, half of them look like they're on their last legs.
All right. You know what? Don's. Wait. Sorry. Is it our turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Don wants to cast guidance on Natrix and just say, I think we could go out and get him now. You know?
What do you mean? You don't want to just leave it to the wolves?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I just feel like, you know, that guy's kind of powerful. What if he eviscerates the wolves, you know?
You just summon more wolves.
True!
This is just the first wave of wolves.
You know what? True. Don sits back down. You make a
Unless-
good point.
Do you want to attempt to capture him? Or
Nah,
is that too big of a risk?
too big of a risk. That guy's magical. And we got a whole other wave of wolves. I forgot about that, alright? It's fine. We're good.
I mean, if the wolves start having trouble soon, we'll interfere. But he's
Yeah,
blind.
we'll help him
He's I don't know how he aimed at ice
Can't do
because he's
nothing.
blind, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was this other one, not the main one, who dropped that ice bomb.
Oh,
Oh.
okay, I didn't notice that.
Just tell your wolves to stop being a bunch of kittens.
Yeah. Can Notrix in any way encourage these wolves on the right to not be scared? I don't know.
To not be a bunch of puppies.
I'll let you roll an animal handling check, and if you get high enough, I'll give them a little bonus on their next wisdom save.
Yeah, it's like that How to Train Your Dragon gift. It's like me hiding in the bushes, just encouraging my wolf.
It's 2 thumbs up. Like, I'm here,
Exactly.
buddy. Don't worry.
Where's it? No,
We got you.
there it is.
Hey.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say that they'll get a +2 to whatever their next wisdom check is. As a matter of fact, I'll make that right now. But they still, even as you call out to them, try to cajole them, they are still cowering here in the swamp. Because
Sorry, go on.
these guys have a few tricks up their sleeves, but even still, you've taken out half of them already. I think this is going to be one-sided. Notrix, why don't you mark off one more spell slot for wolves, and we'll say that over the course of the next few minutes, as you summon another wave, overwhelm them, because most from your first wave are nearly dead. They, even as these odd bird people put up fights, toss these bombs, fire their crossbows, that from the mere sheer carnage of all of these canines descending upon them, soon they all lie dead, your wolves victorious, standing among them. And
Hey, I think they're done.
and these two odd dwarves now seem to have become a bit more lucid, seem to have sort of a better sense of going on, or at least look like they are more in themselves, look like they've shaken off some of that daze as these wolves just sort of gather around them.
Well,
That
guess we
was
should-
quite the sight. Sweet Sarah Doman, wow. I might be slightly more terrified of wolves now.
Don was like pet one. Who's a good boy? Who's a good little. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably full now,
Blood
huh?
dripping from its mouth. Just blood and feathers.
Wait, these last for an hour or a minute?
An hour.
Yeah, no, apparently.
Oh, dang. So, yeah, you've just got this whole squadron of wolves sort of gathered around you as all of you alight onto this island. And you see these two dwarves, even though they've noticed you, their eyes are looking at you. Neither of them has thought to speak. One of them seems to have a shaved head. You can see that gray, oddly stony skin of its pate. The other one seems to have had its hair, which is actually this sort of shocking white, cut in almost a tonsure.
Hello, are you alright?
Well, it appears that we are fine now at this moment. I assume you are the ones responsible for this canine overload.
Yes.
She gestures
Yes,
to Dawn and Notrix. Yes. Druids are scary.
You're welcome.
Well, I do appreciate the help that you have given to myself and my compatriot here. If you would be so kind, so magnanimous as to do me the favor of undoing my bindings, I would have great appreciation for it.
And Okada would probably help with that.
Yeah, You undo his bindings. He sort of gets up, stretches, pops a joint, says, "Well, thank you very much, strangers. I believe that my compatriot and I will be taking our stolen equipment and continuing on if that is fine with you, as much as we do appreciate your assistance in this matter."
Well,
Before
wondering if we would, if your gratitude extends as far as maybe sharing some information about, well, what you were doing here, and well, about the area. These are dangerous lands after all, and the best defense is knowledge.
I I understand. We are we are very familiar with these lands. These lands are our home, and it seems that these servants of the North, decided that we would be easy prey for them. You see, the other one, the bald one, has gone back over to the saddlebags and is kind of shoveling the pears back into them and seems to be looking through the pair of weapons that are beside them. These ones, they have camps, various places. They make holes and burrows that beasts have left behind. You can find them in makeshift tree houses in the swamps. You can find them stuck into ice caves farther in the north. You are best giving them a wide berth, but they perhaps are not quite as threatening as they appear at first blush. You merely need to try to not be surprised by them. If they surprise you, that is when things go south.
Yes, we have had
Yes,
some
we've had.
experience. Do you know what they are?
Yes, these ones are Avianzi, zealots. I cannot claim to have ever befriended one of them, but as far as I know, they have some messianic vision that their stunted form, that they will be restored to greatness if they serve their aims. Believe they think that what my compatriot and I were carrying may have helped them with this. I know, of course, that that is nonsense.
about what you're carrying, we noticed that you had some of those glass pear looking things.
Yes. I apologize. Those are not for sale. Are you expecting a reward?
No, just the
We've
thing
seen
is,
them before and wanted to know their significance.
yeah.
Somebody roll a persuasion check.
Is Don persuasive?
I
Yes.
have proficiency in persuasion.
You can go.
Yeah, you're the one
But I
who
suppose
said.
Dawn could be helping.
Yeah, I have 6. What do you got?
A 5?
Yay!
He sort of narrows his eyes, looks back towards the other dwarf who seems to have almost fully loaded the saddlebags. They give a silent nod to each other. These are, to be honest, to the average person, they are nothing but trinkets, but there are certain forces in Forinthry, including these servants of the North, servants of the wilds, who seek to collect them, think that they are not the purview of others. The newer forces in Foreign 3, some have an interest in them. Unfortunately, my people have run into some conflicts with these parties, but, well, we were hoping to rendezvous with some of them and use this as a peace offering, gain clemency at least for a small share of us.
Well,
I
certainly,
see.
certainly a lot of people wanting from into Frimfree lately that match your description. Are these the Asgardians, the Kintra, the Grey Forge, perhaps?
Hmm. Well, if you do not know, I am not certain that I should tell you. Well, suffice it to say that it is those who are orchestrating the excavation of the volcano. And he kind of gives this indistinct glance towards the east. Who have the greatest interest in this. I do not believe that they are keeping it for themselves, but, well, these can be very valuable to them.
I see. And I guess, did you excavate these yourself, or did you take them off those who did? I'm not judging either way on it.
We know where there are some ancient caches of these. You understand, my people. We know the earth. We know the ways of the land, its hidden places, better than most anyone else. These were once much more common than they are now in ages past.
Why's that?
Look around you. You are walking through a dead land. Very little grows in a dead land. And that which does not live long. Any kind of half heartedly whacks one of the dead trees.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What exactly is in the volcano?
None know exactly what is within it. Some who say that it is not even a volcano at all. All that I know is that it is where the God Wars ended. It is where the power of divinity, its hegemony over the mortal races, was brought low, and that any who attempt to delve it, well, save for very few, die.
That's rather grim. Is there any cause of death, or is it monster infested, lava infested, or just death?
I have heard third hand, fourth hand stories from those who have approached its rise that there are strange energies, strange phenomena that occur there that drive one to madness, that can rip the soul out of one's body. Though I have never heard from anyone who has actually delved fully into the volcano and come back to tell the tale. All I know for sure, for certain, is those who do venture through its mists, well, they do not return.
Hmm. But the excavation, is that, are they not affected by this trouble?
Oh, the excavation is not into the heart of the volcano itself. There are forces paying for those to operate on its lower slopes. There is actually a camp just to the north of the volcano, a large one, though they attempt to keep it hidden from the north. And I know that there are more working at it to the south. Those are the ones that I hope to rendezvous with, but even there, it is suicide to approach it directly.
Let's see.
There appears to be an intense look of consternation on Alkana's face.
I guess I have a few more questions. You mentioned again the north that these birds serve, and you mentioned it again just now. What do you mean by that?
The north. The north is Well, the North is what you could say a fragment of the Foreign Three of the past, or perhaps the harbinger of its future. These ones serve the North, but, well, the North is deadly. The North tears up any who would infringe upon it.
Well, by the sound of it, that describes most places in Frimfree.
What makes the North especially bad?
The North has winds that may scour your bones. The North can look into your very being. The North the North is what protects this place and what destroys it.
I see.
Sounds ominous.
Hmm.
So you're saying to be careful of the wind conditions and well, anything else in particular?
I am saying beware the North, and keep your wits about you.
And what of your own people?
What
I
of my people?
I wasn't aware there was a population like you in Frimfree.
Hmm. I suppose we have been forgotten. You are Southerners. I suppose that should be obvious. Yes, there are those of us in 4 and 3. Quite a number of us. We make our home in this land as we have for millennia, long before the advent of your kind. Could say only this one's race, and he kind of gestures towards Dawn, is older than ours.
So you've seen fairies up here?
I have heard tell of them, and of course they are part of the old lore.
What's that about?
The old lore?
Yeah.
The lore from before the world. The lore that others have set aside. That your kin were once part of the forces that helped stabilize this place, this plane.
Can Don think back to like I don't know his history classes and like think back to a time when like fairies were on Gielinor?
Roll a history check.
A thought bubble appears above Don's head, and just a little him in like elementary school.
Yes!
Aww.
Yeah, Don, you try to think back. Not something that you learned in any sort of formal education, not something that's widely held as part of your people's history, but something that you feel like you gleaned, though you're not sure when, almost through osmosis, as if it's a very subtle theme underlying sort of the fairies' stories of themselves. That there was a time when the barrier between uh, the spirit plane and the material Gielinor was thinner, when there were more places where one might cross between them, and that in that day, yeah, there would have been a lot more kind of cross. I don't want to say cross contamination, but yeah, sort of cross traffic between these worlds. Though this isn't like a period of time that you specifically know about. It's almost like something vaguely suggested, but unwritten in a lot of fairies lore.
Hmm. Now that I think about it, I feel like I've heard something about fairies being on Gielinor at some point. But
Said things about before the world.
for the world, I don't know about that.
You hear this loud, kind of woody, stony knock knock, and you look and you see that the other dwarf has actually taken his hammer and kind of tapped it right on the top of his bald head. And that's not a sound that a typical head would make. And this one with tonsure looks towards him and then towards you, and he says, "Well, I have enjoyed this chat, and once more, I am deeply appreciative of the aid you have given myself and my compatriot, but I fear that we must be moving on very soon. We have a lot of ground to cover, and we don't want to be surprised by more of these bandits again."
Yeah. Well, hey, you're
Yes,
welcome.
understood.
Welcome to the aid, and perhaps we'll see each other again if we end up heading in the same direction.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Where in Vorthig do you guys live?
And as you say this, they're already starting to stump off. And
All right.
he kind of looks back towards you and he says, "Oh, small one. We live anywhere we can, though our main home is far to the west of here. Perhaps you will visit one day."
Maybe. Yeah. Actually. Yeah, Don this looks down and thinks for a sec. Well, see ya.
They're already walking off, sort of stomping carefully, though softly, through the swamp.
I guess, well, can we look at what's left of this camp and see, well, is there anything of interest left behind anywhere?
Sure. Roll an investigation check. Yeah, you look through it. Most of what you find are, traces of this now burnt out fire, bits of scraps of cloth, a few stray crossbow bolts. Nothing that seems especially interesting.
Can Don look at that? Well, okay, here's a question. Did the bird leave his wand? The leader bird?
Wand?
Yeah, like his big old wand that he was using to he was waving around and some like making a big old noise with.
You go to the leader and you sort of pat him down, and you find that he has a heavy crossbow on him, has a dagger strapped to his belt, but there's no wand. As you kind of pat down these various figures, most of them, yeah, they have light crossbows, bastard swords. A few of them have these glass spheres that are very cold to the touch.
Glass spheres?
Yes. And I think you put together, you saw one of them toss this right into the middle of these wolves and, kill a couple of them and rhyme them with frost. Put together that these are what they use to do that. Some kind of an odd frosty bomb.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. How big are they compared to Don?
Say they're big enough that Don could hold one.
One. Okay. Don's gonna look at the others and say, hey, these are those ice bombs. What do you want to take it?
That sounds like it could potentially be useful. Let's keep them on our person.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's gather them all up and distribute them.
All
How
right,
many
yeah,
are around?
you managed to find 5 of these ice bombs
I guess
or
you just.
frost bombs.
Nia pipes up. I guess you just chuck them at the ground. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
when we need to, not right now.
Not right now,
No, not
but
right now.
yeah.
So, Don, I guess you like one, and There's 3 other people at the moment. Who wants to?
Like, is it goofy for Don to carry it? Like, is it
I
really
suppose
big?
I'll keep the other one for Loki. If
Yeah.
we run into him again.
I'll let Don carry one.
Hell yeah. But what does it look like? How
Looks like he's got a big bulbous thing on his backpack.
all right. Yeah, whatever.
Like
He'll
a
be
soccer ball or
fine.
something.
Exactly. He keeps his backpack in like one of your pockets anyways. Yeah, like, takes it out whenever he wants to fight. Yeah. Especially now with the ice bomb. Okay. And how many do we have? I mean, I know I have one.
Yeah,
But
5 of them total.
Yeah, Arcana has 2, the rest of us just pocket 1. But add 1 to Nia's inventory as well.
yes.
Well, that's a pretty nice, nifty trick to have.
Ice bomb.
Yeah. I'll put it next to all my potions.
And what's the damage that it does again?
An ice bomb, I'll tell you what it does. Within 10 feet, creatures must succeed on a DC 14 dexterity saving throw. If they fail, they take 10 cold damage, and until the start of your next turn, their speed is reduced to 5 feet. They can't take reactions or bonus actions, and they can take only a single attack action on their turn.
Okay.
If they succeed, they take 5 cold damage and suffer no other effects.
Sounds good. All right, we got that then.
I guess can I have my wolves sniff around the campsite?
What's that?
Can I get my wolves to sniff around the campsite to get anything we missed?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess they get an advantage on that. Yeah, go ahead and roll. Roll a perception with advantage for the wolves.
Wow. Wait, is that just for
No.
one wolf? Or is that all of the wolves?
I'm gonna say for one wolf because I'm not gonna have you. It would be advantage again, like double advantage, but double advantage isn't the thing in D&D. So they look around, they're sniffing. They don't seem to find anything of note. It seems like the scent of the blood from all of these dead Avianzi, as that odd dwarf called them, is maybe messing with their sense of smell. They can't really pick up anything else of interest.
Well, what would these bird people have that we want anyway? Unless you want crossbirds. Apparently they have those in abundance.
I was never much good with a crossbow. I prefer spells.
Too big for me.
So, anyone else looking for anything while you guys are in this campsite, or are you moving on?
I think it's about time to move on.
Yeah, we go.
Nothing for Nia?
Yeah, she would just she'd just be excited about the ice bomb. And that's it.
We found a
Alright.
shiny.
You know what, Notrix? I'll let you roll. I'll let you make one more wisdom check without advantage because, I'm putting it together in my mind, and technically, they should be getting triple advantage from this. So I'll let you roll double advantage. So run one more wisdom check, no advantage for the wolf, or one more perception check.
Oh no.
It's even worse.
Okay, yeah.
You know what? Can Nia roll investigation or perception or something like that? Fuck it. She'll look for something.
Okay.
Perception. Okay, did she
Oh
find
wow.
anything? Yeah.
She looks around into the sort of where there's this biggest bundle of cloth. She notices something. She notices there's an odd bump. I feel so dirty now. Your DM leading you towards. You
To a
haven't
bump?
found something. You sure you don't want to look for something?
No, you good. I caught on and I
But
was like, you know what? There's something.
Yeah. You look. Nia approaches this bump, kind of feels something hard, pulls it back, and what she finds, pulls out, is a dagger. A dagger made of this bright red metal, and inscribed right there on the hilt is this symbol.
Uh-oh. We found another.
And with that, let's go ahead and end this session.